Hostile Therapy. Hey guys, welcome back to another Thursday of Hostile Therapy with me, Big Red, and the classic 90s drink showing up again for 2022. Chris Styles back with it.
I need a drink. Yeah,
It's not what he's sipping on. It's not what you sipping on though.
not tonight.
You going outside your race? Is that what you're doing?
Some cranberry. Some cranberry juice.
He said it's just cranberry, so
Yeah.
I'm saying I told him that's blasphemy.
Some ocean spray. It's blasphemy for not to have something in my cup.
Only because it's ocean spray, I'll let you pass.
Ocean spray.
But you're probably better than me because in my cup, I have the prestigious but nasty Hawaiian Punch.
Classic.
It used to be, not today. Now it tastes like Robitussin.
Yeah, got a twang in it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's a little bit too sugary, and I love, I love to have sugar to my tea and everything else. But this one it just ain't fitting right. It's like
It's artificial.
right. There you go. I like that artificial. It's you messed up the formula. The best Hawaiian Punch always to me came out of the vending machines. It was nice and cold. It came in a can.
Yeah.
Hot outside. You begging your mama, can you get one? She slaps your head and tell you, no, stop begging. And you continue to beg, or you give that good look, and she finally shells out 25 cents or whatever it was then to get you that nice Hawaiian Punch. But then they said, we're gonna capitalize on that. We're gonna put it in a big jug so you can have all the Hawaiian Punch you want. But now the Hawaiian Punch is like yesterday's, or depending on how you look at it, yesterday or today's Sunny D.
Yeah.
That ain't Sunny. That ain't orange juice.
Nah, it's certainly not.
And whatever's in this container now is not Hawaiian Punch.
It's not. It's a derivative.
I like that word too. It is derivative of what I had. It's not Kool-Aid. It's not Hawaiian Punch. This thing is from Compton. It's not from Hawaii.
It's from Alabama somewhere.
Yes, this juice is from the Jim Crow era of Alabama. This is not today's.
Right.
This is not the 1980s Hawaiian Punch. This is what we're trying to say. Kids,
That's crazy.
it was way better then. A lot of things were way better back then. We're not just saying it because we're old. We're saying it because it's true. And a lot of things, this would be a perfect segue into what we're going to talk about first. A lot of things that we knew or thought we knew as kids was a lot better,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. When we thought our parents actually loved each other, I'm speaking on mine. When we thought our parents actually loved each other, when we thought they weren't going through struggles and they just had to go to work and bring us stuff, to make us feel good. We didn't know how hard they actually had it. When we actually thought there was, a white guy that would come into your house and give you presents if you acted good.
Yeah, them days.
Yeah. And if that's the case, if that was true, why were they working so hard around Christmas? It's like, why are you guys working so hard? We've been acting good. He's going to bring us the gift. So, hey, chill, relax. Take the whole month of December off. Not true. And the other thing, and of course, we weren't kids when this happened, but we were a bit younger. You remember the day where we didn't have to worry about someone having a child sex case against them? We could just worry about the music.
Right.
Of course, I'm speaking about R. Kelly, who was recently sentenced to 30 years for child trafficking. And
my mind's telling me no.
That's all we had to worry about.
But my body.
We had to worry about people re-syncing those songs. And we had to worry about what song we were going to play on our playlist for the ladies, of course. But now we have to have a conscious effort to know if we're going to put that song on or not, because she's like, He messed with kids. We can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that with you tonight. I'm
I'm
leaving.
like, look, but I said, but you're not a kid,
Right. He didn't want you.
for
You want
sure.
his type. You got a point, but you know everybody want to fantasize, or at least the women want to at one
Mm-hmm.
point wanted to fantasize to be with R. Kelly. So that was cool at one point.
He
So
would have gave you STD, you know, but they didn't want to talk about that.
they're willing to take it. You know, there's a certain amount of some people are willing to do anything for money.
Mm-hmm.
You
Or
know, just name your price.
I was with R last night, and I'm like, oh my God, did you protect yourself?
No, I
And
didn't. They were like, I wanted it. That's famous STD. What are you talking about?
you won't
Different
have
type
none
of.
of me. Won't have me no more.
They're hoping to get at least get a baby out of it. You know, the problem
He
is though is
he ain't got no money now.
that's what I was just about to say. Yes, you look up his net worth. His net worth is in the negative millions,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. He recently had to sell like $5 million worth of his record label, record music or whatever, to
Hmm.
help pay off his lawyers.
Yeah.
And him not being able to read. I'm not picking on him for this, but just as it's a tale just to tell about it. Him not being able to read and going and working in that industry, he didn't know what he was signing. And yeah, it's probably the reason why he's in the position he's in and why Bill Cosby is out. Not
Hmm.
saying Bill did it, not saying R. Kelly did it. This is allegedly, even though he just got convicted. But him being smart with his money, Bill Cosby, and having great lawyers and being able to
Hmm.
pay those lawyers is the difference, probably why he's in and he's out.
For sure.
Because R. Kelly should have been nine figures rich.
But
And
he had an entourage too everywhere he traveled,
mhm,
pretty much, and people who were enabling him to do what he was doing. So, um, he had to pay him, and to keep his train going.
to keep him quiet.
Um, huh?
Yeah, to keep him quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then there was other settlements and suits that he had to pay off in the past as well. But and he still didn't learn. He kept doing the same dumb ish again.
Hmm.
So, he's paying for it all the way around. And matter of fact, I could say most of his money probably did go to. Well, I mean, he had the case before,
Hmm. Yeah.
and had this one too, and all them other suits, some settlement suits that he had. Um, for he passed on some STDs to some people, and it's crazy. It's a lot of stuff that happened out there that he
Yeah.
had to.
Well, you know what the big difference is. Well, I'll say what the big difference is. Remember, the first case you mentioned.
Mhm.
Remember they had a damn tape. Tape wasn't enough. I do know. I do remember. I think the girl that was in the tape, she was called to testify. But I think she ended up not testifying because she got paid not to show up to the trial. It's like, well, if you don't have anybody to indict, well, you have anybody to say he was the person that did this crime to me, then you can't
Mhm.
very well convict him of it. So this got off for it. That, and I think because he made Chocolate Factory. What did he make at this trial? He didn't make anything.
Right.
We need some good music. If he made another Chocolate Factory, man, be out of the prison in no time. That was the issue. If he had made Chocolate Factory, he'd been just fine. He'd been out the next day. The lawyer would have showed up to the courtroom. They were like, "We got tapes, we got wiretapping, we got witnesses showing what you did, Mr. R. Kelly. How do you plead? Innocent, because I got Chocolate Factory 3 on the way. Innocent. Let this man go. As long as
That's
you give me
funny.
front row tickets to our next concert, then you're free to go, Mr. Kells. He did nothing wrong.
He did nothing wrong.
It was
Even when he bump and grind,
well, he gonna be
he didn't do nothing wrong.
a lot of bumping and grinding where he's going at.
Oh yeah, shoot. Matter of fact, he probably gonna feel, but he feel right at home.
Yeah, well,
Hmm.
I guarantee you his mind is going to be telling him no, and his body is going to be saying no too.
Shoot, he gonna be like, yes.
But there was another person in the news that was in some controversial things, just like Mr. Robert Kelly.
Mm, mm, mm.
There, the Epstein Island controversy has been going on the last maybe a
Couple
decade.
years, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Hmm.
mean, I think it was going on for a while, and it just now came into prominence, or just came to the forefront of the news. Of course, Epstein didn't do it. He didn't kill himself. That's what everybody says. But he had someone that was an accomplice that they said set him up or set up the
Hmm.
women for Epstein and the other celebrities and politicians that were there.
They came in doing their thing.
I,
He like rock my world.
I thought I had the video of this already loaded up. Hold on. Yeah, find that right quick.
Yeah, you do. It's there. I believe in you.
It's there. It just keeps moving on me all the time.
Mm.
All right, I think I got it. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Make sure I got it on the share part so we can actually, everybody in here can actually hear it. And let's see, here we go.
Maxwell has been sentenced to 20 years for sex crimes involving her ex-boyfriend, Jeffrey Epstein.
They lived in luxury together, partied together, and committed crimes together. Maxwell grooming vulnerable young women for the wealthy financier to sexually abuse.
Ghislaine Maxwell surprised everyone by speaking in court, something that she had refused to do during her trial back in December. She said that Jeffrey Epstein had left a permanent stain on her and meeting him was the worst moment in her life.
Her statement felt like a very hollow apology to me. She did not take responsibility for the crimes that she committed, and it felt like once more her trying to do something to benefit her and not at all about the harm that she had caused.
Bottom line is she came off as, hey, I'm just one of you. I'm just one of the victims here. And there was no real remorse. There was acknowledgement of all the things that these folks went through. No real responsibility. And that's key to the sentence that was imposed, because the judge said just before imposing that sentence, I saw no responsibility being taken by this defendant.
This saga is far from over, because the paedophile and his sex trafficker accomplice did not act alone.
For sure.
So,
Tell you what, you know, it's just that privilege thing going on right there, where people just don't pointing their fingers, play the victim. No one take any accountability, responsibility for anything. So,
well, you know that the sentencing disparity between them has been a bit of a topic between R. Kelly and Miss Maxwell. R. Kelly getting 30 years and Miss Maxwell getting 20. And there are people asking why they think there was disparity in their sentencing. Why was there a 10-year difference?
yeah, that's crazy. Well, from what I've seen over the years, is primarily because of her skin color. And she's a woman with that skin color. So those are two reasons that she got 20 and he got 30.
What do you know if she see this is on? I don't know a whole lot about what she did. I just know she trafficked these
Well, she
girls.
trafficked, and
Did she do anything with these girls?
she was intimate with some of them,
Okay.
even when they didn't want to be. She, her and her boyfriend, they forced themselves on women and the girls and different stuff like that. So, and then she pimped them out.
Right. Okay, so that part I didn't know if she actually did anything with these girls.
So so that alone, outside of grooming and paying these girls to do what they needed to do or whatever, that was enough.
Mm-hmm.
And conspiracy, so it's that should have been an easy 30 for her.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, there was more victims than R. Kelly. Tell you the truth, there was a lot more victims than R. Kelly. In that story, yeah.
Mm.
And they were international, so they were doing it over international lines too.
Maybe that's yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So
maybe I was gonna say maybe that's why not totally why. Man, I was like maybe because it was over international lines and not necessarily here. I don't know. Just throwing something out there, but yeah, I do think yes, race had some part of it to play in it. I mean, we already know women usually get less sentencing for the same crime compared to men.
That's fact.
Yeah. I was going to say maybe R. Kelly got it more, not just because he's black and male. Well, also because I thought, maybe because he was the main participant in this.
He was a mastermind.
Right.
Whereas, she was the assistant.
Yeah. But you're saying she did play with, I don't want to say play. She did do things with some of these girls. And,
absolutely.
But I think Epstein would have been like the R. Kelly version.
Yeah.
In this case, because R. Kelly was, the main player with this. He the one to set this all up. He was the ringleader, the Pied Piper,
right? Of the R&B, of the music business.
I don't know what R&B stands for, but it's not for rhythm and blues in this case. Right. But yeah, I do think that plays a part. From what I've heard too, from other legal experts, is saying that she did apologize, even though she didn't take central role into what went on. She did blame Epstein for most of this, but she did apologize for her role and I guess setting this thing up, helping him out. And, I know sometimes that's supposed to help with getting a lighter sentencing. And I also heard that R. Kelly had a harsher judge that is known to give harsher sentences, which I'm sure who he is probably plays a part into also what kind of sentence he is going to get or has already got.
And then he got, there's 2 more cases he got coming up.
Just 2?
Yeah, or more. I'm just saying,
this year?
With R. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think that's just this year because I think he has a whole lot more coming.
And it's sad because he ain't going to have no money to fight. He's going to have to get a public defender or somebody who's just gonna throw him to the wolves.
That's crazy. Do you remember? Like, I think when he first got arrested, it might have been 2 years ago now. And it's crazy how long he's been in prison. I'm like, daggone, how long does the due process take? But there was a lady that was paying like his bail at first.
Yeah, he a friend of his went and put up his bail, whatever like that.
It's female friend.
Yeah, female went to put up the bail to get him out. And if it wasn't for her, he would have probably still been in there waiting on due process until they went to go get him. For real.
She ain't getting that money back.
Nah, because, there was a story in the past, like an ex-associate of mine, grandmother put up her house to get him out of jail. And that was basically a waste because not only did he have additional charges waiting on him for some other things that are going to put him back in jail again. They're going to go arrest him, not for the same thing, but for something different. But when he found this out, he didn't come back. So until they called him, he was on a run. So when you vacate, when you don't come to court, when somebody put up their house or vehicle or whatever they have, and put a lien against your house or whatever that is, they basically, it's a forfeit or default. So could you imagine your grandmother, your mother's mother, putting up her house and you lose it because you don't want to face the consequences of what you done in them streets?
I couldn't imagine it.
Bruh, listen, I'll be hunting, man, I'll be duck hunting if I was grandma.
Yeah.
Boom.
But that's if they get out, they don't get convicted, and I guess you got to find somebody on the inside to get them.
But yeah, and that's possible too. That's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's one of those things, Red, that it's awful, man. Like, she's never gonna get her paper back, or not unless he had a stash somewhere and he used his own stash and just had her bring it. You know what I'm saying? Because and that might have been the case too, because you don't want to put your business out there, like, because he kept crying he was broke anyway, right?
Right.
And if he did have a stash somewhere, he trusted this person to go get this paper and said that it was her money to get him out. Because sometimes people stuff slip in the public eye and they all over you now. So he had to do it in some kind of way that wouldn't implicate that he had extra paper somewhere, whatever that is. But yeah, I'm like, damn, you've been in the music business all these years, all these tours, all these different things, and didn't have 100,000 to get yourself out.
Yeah, spending on paying these people off to be quiet. He was spending on so many people, for at least what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is just speculation, from the parents of Aaliyah to these hundreds, but around hundreds of girls that he was trying to get to be quiet,
Mm-hmm.
to these places that he would take them, buildings he would have for them to do whatever he wants at his will.
For sure. Yeah, that's crazy though.
I mean, what business venture did he have? What did he have that would rival what Dre and Jay-Z and Kanye has done? He just spent. He spent more than he had.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Michael Jackson. I mean, he spent more than he had, but he thought he had. He thought it would never run out. He thought his Thriller money would never run out. But when you're buying 24K gold-plated giraffes,
Yo.
in gold toilet paper, what do you expect?
It was funny because I was watching it was a documentary or something like that, and he was in the store. I want 2 of these. I want 2 of those. Yeah, I want that, and I want that. And
that was I think it was a British documentary you're probably talking about.
Yeah, I was floored, man. Like, wow.
And he was going through like financial turmoil then, I think.
And especially when he had the animals, feeding all them animals and doing all that different stuff like that. He should have had Neverland as an attraction where people came to pay to see it. He would have never ran out of money.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he did it 2 days a week, I mean, it'd have been off the chart. People would fly there to just go see that place. You know what I mean? And then too, he had trouble too because all them lawsuits and different things he was, going through with them kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they turned around and said they turned around and lied and said that it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later they changed their mind, like, well, which is it? You know what I'm saying? It's our parents told us to say this or do that. Right. So yeah. It's amazing, man, how people do us, man. It's amazing.
But see, what he messed up is he didn't have enough friends in high places. I'm sure. Just saying, if she had, well, she does. She has a lot of friends.
Well, she did, but everybody wasn't touching that.
Well, once the fire got a little bit too hot, nobody was going to touch that.
One of the reasons too And I think she's going to die in prison
Really,
because
somebody gonna kill her?
whatever information that still may be out there to harm other people, even though it was about her,
Mhm.
she may have behind the scenes again give up some names and some tapes on other people who was participating, high-ranking people, rich people. So I think the same. Like I wouldn't want to spend that many years in jail anyway. Um,
20
yeah,
years. I think she was in her 50s or 60s.
she is already, and matter of fact, she should have got more time because when they were looking for her, telling her to come in, she was running.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, she was all over the place until they couldn't find her initially, but I think their accountant or tax person was under heat, and he gave up tapes on her or where she was at. So
But
they're all.
you wonder though, maybe also too,
Hmm.
that maybe she got lesser time because she's cooperating with getting the bigger fish. There's bigger fish to fry, so
So
you
that's why I
cooperate.
think that she's gonna catch it at some time in prison. Maybe when
Yeah.
she off her guard, she's gonna catch it for sure.
See, and I think that might be a big reason why. Maybe she would have got 30 or 40 plus years. We're like, hey, you tell us all these other celebrities, politicians, or whoever else was on that island messing
Hmm.
with these girls, then we'll reduce your time. You'll get 60 years if you don't cooperate.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
well.
believe it. And I said she gave up tapes like
See, R.
she
Kelly
had,
was the tape.
right.
There's no
Yeah,
tape.
yeah, he was like he didn't have anybody else to point to except for himself.
Yeah. Now,
You know.
that's what I said. I'm going to say this one thing. I know you might be one of them. I've heard this same discussion every time.
Hmm.
Uh, and I don't have a problem with it as long as we don't absolve R. Kelly of what he did. Because people always are saying, yes, we got R. Kelly, but what about the parents that set him up, set those girls up to go with him?
You know, honestly, I when I was growing up in the day and age, right? My
Mhm.
parents, not unless they met the person or they knew the people, I wasn't spending the night over nobody's house or going anywhere. Not even on no, there would be no chaperones, nothing like that. A school bus trip or whatever, school trip. Even riding in the car, going to the grocery store or something. If they ain't know nobody, you ain't going. I can't even walk to the store with somebody they haven't met. So
Mhm.
I really think that he done a masterful job of talking to them and convincing them that they were going to do certain things. Um, and overall, I mean, if you just see him and meet him, you think he's a nice person. You don't know all this stuff is going on,
Mhm.
and their daughter wants to sing or they want to do. You want to support them in that manner. Um, so I think some people can be very convincing and can put on an act and do what they do, but I wouldn't allow them to stay. I'm coming to get you at 6. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Right.
come get you at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna come get you at whatever time. I'll bring you back tomorrow or something like that. But um, obviously that didn't happen. Or if it did, I mean, the kids were also complicit to some degree because they kept going back.
Mhm.
Um, I also feel too, the reason why most of this stuff that again, um, something might happen to somebody else, but you never think it's going to happen to you. Or like if somebody would say, yeah, you're gonna be my number one girl. You're gonna be this. You're gonna be that. And sometimes people fall into that. But and plus, he's a star.
Oh, of course.
They get, they get away with a lot more stuff than anybody else would. And a small example is that now there was I'm going to say years ago there was I'll just give you an example from high school. I might have been over. I may have been able to run over and kiss a girl on the cheek, or I may be able to grab her, touch her, and she laugh and giggle or whatever like that. Whereas though, if somebody else tried to do that, a friend of mine, somebody else that they didn't like,
Mm-hmm.
go over there and do it, they get punched in the face or smacked. You see what I'm saying?
There's always
So,
no standards.
yeah, it's a little different, in how all this stuff came to be. But I'm just really thinking that, the parents were, they were too gullible. They were too lax.
There you go. Too lax
In the whole situation. But until stuff started coming out, and they were paying. I mean, if you paying the parents now, you're going along with the program.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever was going on. So you basically you pimped your daughter for some paper.
Basically, and what I always say to that, and it's my acronym. That's the word I've made up to what things are right and wrong. Is EAT. E, emotional attachment. A, action. And T, time. Emotional attachment is what your strongest emotion is attached to. Let's say the parents. They let their kid go with R. Kelly. What is their strongest emotional attachment attached to on here? We want money. We're willing to let you go and take the risk that he'll do something to you for money, rich and fame. So they're fine with that. Action, eventually he does take the action against them. Or her, the child or whatever, does something wrong until the money runs out. Why would the money run out? It would take time for that to actually happen. Then all of a sudden, the act is wrong. Now, I'm not saying that's everybody, but I'm saying you think what is wrong, really compared to what your strongest emotional attachment goes to. That's usually how it goes for most people. What is considered right and wrong is where your strongest emotional attachment is gone to. And in this case, or some of those parents, their strongest emotional attachment wasn't towards the daughter and keeping her safety. It was towards, we'll let it slide because you're rich. Because would they have let it slide if it was, like I said, a regular guy working at Walmart? Shout out to the people who work at Walmart, third shift. Love you guys. But would they have let that slide? No, because the emotional attachment is not to minimum wage. I know y'all don't make minimum wage at Walmart, so I'm not dissing you guys. So don't write me no angry letters. But they wouldn't have let it slide. Then the emotional attachment would have been towards their safety because money wouldn't have been an issue here. But in R. Kelly's case, where he was a multi-millionaire, famous, and could possibly further their daughter's singing career or lack thereof,
Right.
you're willing to let it slide. Now it's not wrong because their emotional attachment is somewhere else besides the protection of their daughter.
And so he had multiple carrots dangling over their heads.
Right.
Keep reaching, keep jumping.
You can't quite get it.
Yeah, but when one of those carrots run out,
Yeah.
There's a problem, like you said.
Time. That's the only thing that changes. That's what took it. And it's the same thing. I'll put the same focus with Bill Cosby, with the people who defend Bill Cosby. And I'm not saying he's guilty or he's not, but let's just say people think he's innocent. And there's a lot of people who do. People would not defend him with the same veracity that they defend a regular working everyday father, because their emotional attachment to what he's done for Black people, the positive imagery in the 80s and 90s, what he's contributed to HBCUs, is stronger than actually trying to think that he might have done something wrong, compared to somebody who, just sells, goodies at the Goodwill store or something. There's no strong emotional attachment to it. So he's wrong. Bill Cosby could not be wrong. He's good. What he's done, there's no way he could have done evil, because the strongest emotional attachment is going to what he's done for you. The guy you don't know down the street hasn't done anything for you, so why would you defend him? So there's no emotional attachment to it.
Mm-hmm.
But what could happen is the people who do have a strong emotional attachment to Bill Cosby, over time, if they've never heard any bad things about him, which no one had, well, to the average person, when the 2000s popped up, then they heard something bad happen to him. Then these women popped up, and the ones who turned against Bill Cosby, the emotional attachment was to women's rights or women getting assaulted, so they were able to turn against him. Yeah, it's the same act, but people either defend or not defend, because I think it's because what's your strongest emotional attachment to? The defending of women or women getting assaulted? Because maybe something happened to you when you were younger, or you love Bill Cosby that much because of what he's done for Black people, you will defend him first and foremost.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Whew.
I think that works with damn near everything in the world. What is your strongest emotional attachment attached to is whether something is right or wrong.
Right.
And most people aren't celebrities. So that's why I think a lot of celebrities get a pass, because their emotional attachment may be to what the music has done for them, or acting has done for them, or sports has done for them. So people are willing to let that slide.
Right.
Because I've seen people, let's just say a celebrity was accused of rape the next day before they have heard any evidence, anything. And it doesn't even have to be a celebrity, anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they got accused of rape, heard no evidence. And they're like, he did it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's we'll just say most men who get accused of rape, or automatically he did it. Hope he rots and burns in hell or whatever.
And
like,
you don't, and they don't know nothing.
Right. Why do you think that is?
Well, for one, a lot of people, when they first hear news, the news is like the gospel to some people. So that it's like they are convicted before cases even tried, before they get any evidence or anything. It's just hearsay. But again, that comes into play. Skin color comes into play.
Right.
And you just look at always just say that there's if there's smoke, there's fire.
Sometimes it's steam. Sometimes,
sometimes it's steam for sure. It don't turn out to be what they said it was supposed to be. And people are just judgmental and critical anyway, as long as they not in the situation, because there's no empathy, there's no no empathy, there's not any compassion, there's no understanding. It's judgment, judge.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that comes on TV, the internet, these blogs, the tabloids, just people are just all over it, and they become, for one, because they never want to look at themselves, but
would you do that if someone, if just a rape case, not a case, but someone got arrested for rape, like that day, would you convict them automatically?
No, I mean it's a part of the process, for one.
Okay, tell me why you wouldn't. Why you wouldn't?
Well, because I don't know. There's a lot of people who lie, or they might be angry at somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And say that they did something, or they didn't get what they thought they should have gotten out of the deal, or so they're going to make somebody pay one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right, but it happens quite often. Some people do it because they want to extort you. Some
Right.
people do it because that they want your significant other to know that you was creeping or you did this and this. So it's a lot of different things that can happen and can come out in regards to a case that's not even true.
And you've seen these things happen, right?
Oh, I've seen
You,
plenty.
you might have experienced those things. You've
Yeah.
seen these things. But see, that's what I'm saying. There's an attachment to it. Why you'll say that. And I'm saying you're right. I believe in what you're saying. Yes, you should give someone due process. And I think what happens, and we're going to get into Sean Watson a little bit because, dang, we just seem like we run the gamut of these cases. What I think a lot of women will do is they know someone, they've either or experienced it, and their emotional attachment is attached to automatically saying he's the bad guy. He automatically has had to do it. There's no due process. He's guilty
Hmm.
before hearing the facts because we know someone who's done that. Or I've experienced someone who's done that to
Yeah.
me, and I get it. I understand it, and it doesn't make it still right or wrong. But it
Right.
doesn't make it right that you're accusing somebody without actually knowing the fact because, like you said, people do things out of vengeance,
Hmm.
uh, do something against people just because of who they are, skin color. Uh, Emmett Till, I'm probably,
Wow.
yeah, I think I'll actually bring that story. Actually, let me go ahead
Yeah.
and bring the story up. Did you
Yeah.
hear about what recently just happened?
Listen. I Matter of fact, I was ready. I'm glad you did mention it though, but I was floored. I did not know until today. Now, I've read this story, I've seen documentaries, I've seen a lot of stuff in regards to what happened to this young man, which was terrible.
Right.
But I never knew back in 1955 or
There you go.
1953, 1955,
It's 55.
that this woman, there was a warrant that was issued for the woman who lied on Emmett.
Carolyn Bryant,
Carolyn, yes, yes,
still
yes,
alive, by the way.
still alive. She's 80,
Hmm.
and the police who was in charge, wherever she lived in that county, did not execute it, and it was just basically saying that there was one for her arrest. Um, and he was like, "Oh, she got two kids at home, so I'm not going to bother her." We would not get any leniency, or nobody would ever say nothing like that against
No,
us.
no.
We would have been gone immediately, dragged out of the crib,
Yeah.
down to the jailhouse
They would have put the kids in foster care,
for sure, foster care, whoever.
if that.
They wouldn't even give them to the other family members, foster care.
Right.
There'd have been like adoption papers. I mean, they'd have put them in the foster care system ASAP. So that in itself, again, is wrong. It's terrible, and it's still terrible because now that the truth is out, well, it's been out, but now that everything's being brought to light, in my opinion, she should still serve the time, whatever that time. She still should go through due process, 80 or not, because she had many years free,
Yeah.
and she should be in jail or go to jail. They should go get her and put her in jail.
I don't know what would actually happen though if they would give her the warrant now. I'm like, what would actually happen? Because the people who committed the crime, they got off. Of
Well,
course, they're
they're
long
dead,
gone by now. Yeah.
but I mean, let's not go back, because it's even though it's a part of the same situation, it's a separate segment there, a separate piece. If it wasn't executed, and it should have been executed, I don't even know if the gentleman or the sheriff or whoever was still alive, he need to be prosecuted for tampering or not
Mhm.
doing his job. There's a lot that can and should happen, but we don't know if that's even going to happen now because, oh, this poor white lady, oh, she's old now, and
Mhm.
oh, you know, That's the same thing with Bill. If you look at this, almost the same thing with Bill Cosby. 30, 40 years later, people coming out of the woodwork saying this and that and that, and they let him go to jail for damn near 2 years. But they're not going to do this. They're not going to have that same energy for this lady who committed an atrocity.
Yeah.
No, she got to go, bro.
And to bring up the point, this is where we're going at with this. Evil hasn't left. Evil hasn't changed. Evil is just, more under watch by, social media, by different laws that have been passed over time.
Mm-hmm.
Evil is still the same. People will still at least think about things they want to do. Rape was the same thing back then. Assault is the same thing as it was back then. I think some of those assaults and rapes may happen less now because we're more cognizant of it.
Mm-hmm.
But people have these thoughts. And what I mean too is people will also lie. People will lie back then. They'll lie about something now. And this is why we have a due process.
Mm-hmm.
This is why Carolyn Bryant needs due process. Or maybe not, because most people, a popular opinion, probably don't think she deserves that for what happened to Emmett Till.
But, had she not done that, he would still be alive, living his life. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And the fact that, it just blows my mind how these people they be trying to hide and protect each other, hide information, hide this. We not going to prosecute that. Oh, I'm not going to take this to court. I'm not going to talk to the DA. I'm not going to do whatever. The DA has the power to do a lot of things. And one of them is, in his state or whatever, they can command that sheriff or to whoever to go ahead and make that arrest.
Mm-hmm.
But then so many people are watchful over that, like they don't want to seem like as somebody running for political office, they don't want to seem, they don't want to not be unpopular. You see what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Do your job. Has nothing to do with being popular. People would hire you more by you doing your job than, oh, I don't want to do this because they're not going to like me, or I'm going to fear for my life, or somebody's going to get me. If you feel like that, you should have never took the job.
All right.
It's like these people in these positions hide behind their titles and that they have a lot of cowardice, and they're not going to buck against the system. The system was put in place to keep things in balance and check, but it's not balance and checking anymore because it's just out of control.
Yes, because justice is not always blind. It's supposed to be. It's not always blind. It's and a lot of times what it seems to go off of, or what people want it to go off of, is popular opinion, and that's not justice. But again, emotional attachment is what a lot of people go. And I won't even say popular opinion should be just called emotional attachment. That's what people think right and wrong is. Because if that's the case, let's look at, and we'll get in that a little later, the Supreme Court ruling. If the decision from the Supreme Court was done off of popular opinion or emotional attachment, then that would be wrong. It should be done off of thoughtful, thought out planning for what the law should represent. If it's constitutional or unconstitutional, not what you think is right, because emotional attachment can also be for religion. Because some people think what's right and wrong can be compared to what you believe in. And you're supposed to separate church and state in the United States, but some people do, some people don't.
Sometimes they merge them.
Right. But,
and I just don't understand how in good conscience people run around here saying, oh, I'm a good Christian, I'm a good this, I'm a good that, and just doing the most evil, the most doing the most hypocritical things out here. And it again, it just bothers me, the fact that he could have done his job and didn't do it. And people's families are still going through what they're going through to this day. There hasn't been any justice based on what people feel or popularity, or I'm racist, so I'm not going to do my job because I feel this way about these type of people and things of that nature. Man, it's for the birds, man. It's really for the birds.
And it's understandable. I totally understand if one of those things happens. It's just like if one of your children got in trouble with something, you want to stick by them. You know, you're probably not going to go to, the media if they stick a microphone in your face and like, well, this is my daughter and all, but I need to wait and hear the facts first, before I actually trust her or anything. You're probably going to defend her first because it's your daughter. You have a strong emotional attachment to her. You automatically want to think she's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. But I do think that's what a lot of people's thinking is whatever your strongest emotional attachment is, it's hard to separate that to just thinking what's right and what's wrong, or what you deem is right and wrong.
Well, I will tell you this, and maybe that's probably where I learned it and got it from. My parents straight up told me when I got old enough to understand the rights and wrongs, and where we moved to, there was gangs in the neighborhood, there was selling drugs and whatever else. They basically told me from the gate, look, we care about you, we love you, but if you get locked up, you go to jail. Don't expect us to come see you. Don't expect us to write you letters. Don't expect none of that, because you have a choice before you even go down that road, and we giving you the right choice. So just don't do it.
Right.
So they basically just saying that
it's tough parent.
Yeah, it's tough love. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, in this particular situation, he was like, oh, this is tough for me. I am the sheriff. I need to do my job. They should have thought about this before they got into this situation.
Right.
But it was just the total opposite. He wanted to protect, he protected them more than, I'm pretty sure if he had a son or a daughter and that happened to them, whew, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
It'd have been a total reversal of, warrant would have been executed. Matter of fact, there wouldn't have been no warrant.
Mm-hmm.
They would have straight just try to execute whoever this person was who did this to their child.
Right.
So again, that's that privilege. That's that, and he's a sheriff too. Everybody gonna help him cover that up.
That is too. I want to see though if that guy is actually still alive. The person that was supposed to serve the warrant. I didn't see that in the article or not.
Nah, I had to go back and look that up, see if he's still here. But whoever is in the county now under that sheriff, they can go ahead and do. They can, if the DA says, look, you need to go do this, or if they bring it to the DA, they might not even want to bring it to the DA. But the DA, since it's open and it's aware now, they can still do something about it or do the right thing, whether it's popular or unpopular. Help that family get some type of justice or get some type of peace with that. I mean, it's awful. And, these same people have been doing running the same game, the same plan for how long now? Hundreds of years.
Right.
So I say, it's time to stop.
All right. So let's segue into the next story. All right. I'm going to give you a job, Chris. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to make you an owner of a sports team.
Okay.
What's your favorite sports team?
The Browns.
Who? The Browns?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this is This is coincidence because the story you're about to talk about is dealing with the Browns. At least one of them.
Okay,
So,
cool.
all right.
Let me get my little pad.
All right. Let's just say we got a fire sale. We're selling the Browns for $2.50. You're the first one in line. We're going to hand you the Cleveland Browns. They've had seasons, probably the last few decades, that's probably worth $2.50. But hey, you're here to improve that. And you're going to try to improve your financial well-being because everyone knows owning a football team or any of the four major sports teams in America is good for your pockets if you can bring in the revenue and bring in good publicity. So you have signed the football version of what people will say is Bill Cosby, Deshaun Watson. Okay?
Deshaun Cosby.
Deshaun Cosby. I've seen a lot of memes with his head attached to Bill Cosby's body or whatever, or vice versa. So yours, Deshaun Watson is up. Your GM has signed Deshaun Watson. A lot of the cases, let's just say all the cases that before you signed him to the team, he paid off. He settled out of court.
Mm-hmm.
But now more cases are coming. More cases are popping up everywhere. You signed him to a 5-year, $200 million plus contract of guaranteed money.
230 million.
230. Woo! A lot of money. A lot more money than I've ever seen. Can't even count it that high. But you pay him off. You're the owner. You can tell the GM what you want done for the team. Going forward,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say if you can discipline him too, because some owners have that power to where they can discipline their players before the NFL commissioner actually gets a hold of them. As the team owner, if there are more cases popping up after he plays his first game, I mean new cases.
But I'm going to say, I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
When the first core of people, when they gave him an opportunity to file, they should have kept it at that.
You talking about the women?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Just because new ones are popping up now, now everybody to jump on the bandwagon, that should have no effect. Because a man was not convicted in court. He wasn't even brought to for a conviction. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we're going to get to. That's all we're going to get to.
So the evidence that was presented didn't warrant for him. There's no arrest, no conviction. Now, civil suit is something different. It's not criminal.
Yeah. You still got to provide evidence, though.
But even though there's still evidence that people are still bringing up there to get the money or whatever that is, or they're just going to settle it out, I wouldn't allow that to affect what's going on now, because he handled the bulk of that. He's not a criminal. He wasn't charged. The civil stuff is something different. Just because somebody told him that he had to have all these cases done by a certain time before the practices or whatever that start in July 27th. I think somebody's intentionally doing this now to try to keep him from playing or make him look a certain way. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. I mean, but what is fair in this world?
Mm-hmm.
So me as a GM or leadership, my first thing is like, whatever he's doing, I'm sure he learned from his lesson. It's going to cost him financially. But since he's not a criminal, there were no charges brought against him, then I'm not going to, I would do good PR, have him come on TV and talk about it, and to say, and just having talk about a couple of things, whatever like that. He was just like, whatever happened in the past is in the past. I learned from, what happened, this and that and the third, and keep it moving. Because he's an amazing athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And just because of what happened is not going to deter, because, these women too were complicit in this whole situation. They added to this, but now they want to cash out.
Say allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. So, I mean, it's. Go ahead, finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to say, with all that being known, and then he pays it off. He got the ones that he got in trouble with in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and he starts the season, and new ones come out. As a GM, and let's just say, no, we'll keep it that way. The ones that are taking him to civil court. As a GM, and again, we were talking about earlier, where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes, and less is steam. This is hurting your pockets, though, because you got some people that may be disgusted by it and may not go to the games, or may not watch the games. The revenue is dropping because of it, but your team is winning, though. Your team is
If
winning.
they're winning, that's all that's going to matter. Trust me. They're
As a
going to forget
GM,
about that.
As a GM, though, because your bottom line is being messed with. That's all these GMs care about, is their bottom line.
But when he's throwing for 300 and running for 100 yards a game, and
Ooh,
they blowing people out, they start winning games.
You
They're
think
going to the
winning will
playoffs. You know what I mean? People are going to say what they're going to say, because look, nobody's talking about Michael Irvin and the Dallas Cowboys back in the day, all that stuff they was doing back in the day, right?
Oh, they were. They just they supplied it to them, though. They thought they helped. What, you talking about the cocaine days?
The cocaine, the hookers, the partying, everything. Again,
Well, he paid for those, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got what you said. But
but nobody talks about that.
In a way, Chris, because with Deshaun Watson, he's not being accused of rape, if I'm understanding right.
Absolutely, he's not.
What is from all I understand is he was getting massage, even though I think it's weird that he's had 20 different massage therapists within a month or so, or whatever, 3 months, whatever it is. Because I think you get a massage therapist, like, we try to get a barber. Of course, I don't really use one, but you know what I mean. You got a trusted barber that you go to. You don't want to go to a whole bunch of different ones. And I imagine with someone who's an athlete, whose body is their biggest asset to how they make their money, you want to go to a massage therapist who is very well trusted. Okay, maybe he doesn't. And maybe he did want to get a little touch from him, whatever. But from what I understand, they were massaging him. He would ask them to touch him in a specific spot, maybe near his genitalia or his butt crack or whatever. And he got some feelings that came from that.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't force them to do it. He would just ask a request for them to do that for him. So what exactly, I mean, I guess that's harassment. I don't know if that's the right term for it. What exactly is the crime that he's being convicted of or going to civil court for?
Well,
I don't hear anything of forced to touch him, forced to do these things.
Okay. So basically, I don't know if anybody who's watching are going to watch it. The same thing that happened with Rolly Romero.
Mm-hmm.
Rolly Romero, he's a lot more vocal than Deshaun Watson is. They're two different people. But Rolly was very aggressive with women, right? Mm-hmm. And it made women feel very uncomfortable being around him, because he's, if he's sitting in the car, like just as an example, there was a chick that he met that was in Las Vegas or whatever like that. And the young man, he's a famous boxer, and he met her online, and he drops her off to go to work. Then he meets her back there later, but he comes unannounced. So when she's trying to leave, he's like, "Nah, come on, get in the car, ride with me, I'll take you home." She like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and do whatever I'm gonna do." "Nah, get in the car." So he's forceful, and so she gets in the car, and she said, they kissed a couple times or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it. She didn't want to do anything, but he was really trying to wanting her to perform a certain act on him, and she was like, "No, I'm not doing that." But he's being really persistent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that that caused her to feel uncomfortable. He didn't. He teetered the line of almost holding her against her will, but didn't at the same time. So she felt uncomfortable with that. But after they had the trial, but like there were 4 or 5 other women that came forward that had similar circumstances, going out with him, in the same matter, the same situation. So he has to learn that he cannot behave or operate like this. You see what I'm saying? This is on Rolly's end, but on Deshaun's end, I think maybe he was just being too pesky with it, or maybe he grabbed the hand and put it there, or whatever that was going to be, or
that's wrong.
Or he was being too, not even aggressive, but being too
slick,
or wanting to have somebody. When people try to get you to do something, they be at you talking. They had that slick talking to you.
Yeah.
So I think he probably made somebody uncomfortable by doing that. But like, nah, I told you no already. Respect that, and that's what he should have done. But some of them, he'd be like, "Yo, I'm gonna slide you a couple dollars," you know what I'm saying, or whatever that is. Even though some of them were complicit with doing it because they wanted the money, that's how they make their money.
Mm-hmm.
They should have just said no and stuck to it. But again, that could have been one of the reasons why he had so many massage therapists, in my opinion. If that makes sense.
Persistence is good.
Persistence, yeah. There you go.
That's a good word.
Thank you, Eleanor. That's a good word. So people, men and women, because it gets on your nerves, it makes you annoyed. It makes the person annoying. You know what I mean? So you don't necessarily like, I'm gonna go do it because I'm getting the money today, but I really don't want to. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So stories like that came out. That's why he wasn't really, he wasn't convicted of any crimes. He didn't make anybody do anything, but he was probably persistent in how he asked what he wanted specifically. So there was no crimes committed. But again, on a civil suit, they could go after you because it was like maybe harassment type of deal. Yeah.
That's what I'm mostly seeing. And then he coerced them to touch in certain places, and then he had kind of exposed himself, and he got off on some of that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see too, he ejaculated on some of them. It's so it says. I mean,
allegedly.
But I would be really scared if I'm a GM. Honestly, because one of the age-old arguments is, for a celebrity is like, why would you do that when there's women just throwing themselves at you for who you are? And from what I've always learned about rape or sexual coercion or harassment,
Mm-hmm.
it's not even about sexual gratification. It's about power for the most part,
mm-hmm.
or some other deep-seated issues that you've had, maybe you got from a childhood or whatever. But with him doing this, I don't think if he did it at such a high pace, a high ratio, I don't see this stopping unless he gets help, and then he's going to meet the wrong person. That maybe that charge, not a civil charge, The criminal charge might actually stick. And this is what I'm worried about. If I'm a GM, winning or not, that one day he's going to get that charge that's going to stick and he's going to go to prison. And then you're out of a quarterback and he is going to trial, paying for his trial with the money you gave him. And he may be sitting in a prison jail cell or prison cell, whatever, with the money you paid him. And you don't have a quarterback.
Well,
that's a chance you're taking.
It is a chance you're taking. But before any of this stuff came out, he's been squeaky. He's been squeaky clean.
Right. But
you ain't been able to, So I mean, there's nothing out of maybe overwhelming persistence. I don't see. I really don't see him doing this anymore because this is a big opportunity for. I don't see him moving forward. I don't care. I mean, whether he needs help, hey, he may. But some people. We're going to talk about R. We're going to talk about Bill, and we're going to talk about all these other people out here who have these allegations or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have something, if you have a fetish or you have something that's wrong with you prior to even having or getting money, you're going to use your power and influence and your money. So in the fame, which doesn't really help somebody who, has these fetishes or have these things that they require or desire. It doesn't help them. It makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe him getting out of where he was at to where he is now today, I'm pretty sure they're going to find out to get him some help or whatever that may be or whatever. And he has to be honest with himself and be truthful. But at the same time, Houston was complicit, just like Dallas was back in the day, or these other teams who were having these parties and doing all this different stuff until it come out. Now they want to separate themselves, right?
Yeah.
But you can't.
You know why? Emotional attachment was stronger with winning than it was with those charges.
Yeah.
Winning can cure a lot of ills,
yeah.
especially on the national level.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about middle school, talking about intramurals. Nobody cares about that.
No.
National football team, that's a big deal. And, as I always say, emotional attachment could also mean emotional attachment to money, because winning a Super Bowl brings a lot of attention to your team and a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you something. Do you think the NFL really gives a rat's ass about breast cancer awareness?
No.
You know why they started doing that? Because because mostly throughout the history of the NFL, we know mostly guys watch football. We know that because we always have our girlfriends coming to us and asking us, what's the second down or something like that. Not trying to sound sexist, but not every woman knows about football compared to how many guys know about football. That's just a fact. It's not sexist. It's just how it is. Some women do know about football, but most of them don't compared to guys. That's just a fact. But what happened was, I think, an analyst came into the office and said, you're leaving a lot of money on the table or off the table.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't include women watching the game as well. They could be buying jerseys. They could be watching the game. They could bring the revenue up. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. What's an emotional attachment besides the game that we can give women to attach to? Breast cancer awareness, because a lot of women deal with people they know who've had breast cancer. We see the sport that we're going to care about, wink, wink, about breast cancer. We're going to go to the games because we see they care.
And they do a lot of partnerships, different things, organizations. Just now, you have these false carrying situations going on all over the place.
Right.
And now people who weren't paying attention are probably paying attention now. Like, oh, I'm going to go to the game. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this box seat area for my company, and stuff like that just happens. And I get it. I mean, they doing what they got to do, but I think the thing that really is, what's really bothers me is the fact that, again, you have owners. We've had several quarterbacks, white quarterbacks, noting Roethlisberger. There was an incident with Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few other quarterbacks in the past that had similar same incidents, but some actually, alleged rape multiple times.
Right.
It was not treated with the same energy as they talking about Deshaun Watson. And if there was 0 suspensions, and this will be terrible for the league and the ownership and all that stuff, they never said that type of thing with the same energy
Mm-hmm.
as they did with those other counterparts, Robert Kraft and all like that. They basically
Oh yeah, let's get that.
they swept this stuff under the rug and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like because he is melanin, they're going to have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being proposed right now. They couldn't agree on it before. Now some people are talking about a year or more than a year. Nobody's going to pay $230 million. See, there was a catch behind that too. That's why they went on and scooped them up. Because
What's up,
good
Raz?
evening. How you doing, Raz?
I'm good. How are y'all?
All right.
Good.
Good to see you.
Welcome to the show.
But
Yeah. Sorry.
they already knew he wasn't going to be convicted. But now, because of public scrutiny and public pressure, they feel like something has to happen. But I'm like, just like y'all took a stance, just like the NFL took a stance, the owners and whoever else took a stance against Colin Kaepernick, right? And he didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do nothing. Y'all took a stance against him, and he didn't do anything. He didn't commit no crimes, and look what happened to him.
Right.
So I'm feeling like, I mean, they already done the research on him, but now with all these different shows, different platforms that people are talking about, year, 2 years, or this, and nobody's gonna pay that man that money knowing that he should have been scot-free. Then nothing was going to happen. Nothing's come down the pike. But now, because of public pressure, I'm thinking, honestly, it actually shouldn't suspend him at all. But now they're saying, he's an employee of the NFL, so there's player conduct, ethical, moral conduct, right?
Yeah.
So where is that with the ownership and all that?
Well, I think the NFLPA allows that. That's why people are able to be suspended like that just off of conduct. Because people have been suspended just off of hearsay. They didn't even get convicted or anything. Just hearsay. You can get suspended for games just for hearsay.
So, but what I'm hearing now though is it could be 6 to 8 games. I think that, and if so, I'll be shooting more for 6, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only saying that because, 2 reasons. 1, he's not a criminal. 2, it's a damn shame they do this to black people. And 3, I have a vested interest in it because that's my team.
The owner. Yeah,
but that's my team.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play the game, 3-4 games suspension. But I think they probably doing a half a season or 6 games. Nothing that I don't think that they should affect these people's lives like that. I mean, affect their chances of winning based on that, being as though he wasn't criminally charged. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I would just say, even if he gave him 6 game suspension, they got 10 games left.
Well,
So
actually, more. It's a 17-game season now. They added one more.
yeah, so I would shoot for 6, because that way the NFL might not appeal. They say, okay, yeah, we gave out something, and that's fair, and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But a whole year or more than a year is ridiculous, because again, we've seen people who actually evidence against them saying that they did commit this rape, or they committed this, or they beat somebody up, but they got lesser or harsher sentence. I don't know if they saying because of the number of people, or how that, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I know it damn well has something to do with the color of his skin.
It's probably part of the recipe, but yeah, I definitely do think because of who Deshaun is, that's probably why he might get more games than, I guess we're talking about Big Ben, if we talk about anybody
That's
specific.
one. Yeah,
I mean, I think he had 2, not accusations, like I think trials, or not trials, but
yeah, he had 2. Yeah,
criminal charges at least,
right.
and that was rape. So that's a big difference between.
That's a big difference than asking somebody to touch your balls or something.
Right. And I'm sure that's some sort of crime, but yeah, it's a big difference between both of those two.
What are y'all talking about? Y'all talking about football, right? I was trying to, listen
Deshaun
along.
Deshaun Watson, what he's going through currently, and having to pay or settle out of court all these charges, civil charges against him now, or getting these massages by massage therapists, and what they're saying is basically he kind of coerced them to touch his area down there in front and behind, from what I mean. Yeah.
Wanted a good time, a happy time.
Right. And it just seems a little odd, but Chris was being the Cleveland Browns owner, and I was asking him as the owner what he would have done if that was his quarterback, who he just paid all this money to come to his team, and what happened if new charges were to come about after the ones he settled. That's basically what we were talking about.
And see,
yeah,
there's people who are going to come out of the woodwork just because, not that he done anything, but it's an opportunity to come up now. So again, that's why his case was a prosecutor, because a lot of people's friends and family, the women was basically saying that all of that happened. Yeah, I'm gonna get this money though, because he didn't do nothing to me, but I'm gonna get this money because it's just in a part of what I'm a part of the class action against Deshaun Watson. So they came out and told him, it's like, he ain't do nothing to me, but I'm gonna go get this money though. So both ends, for people who were violated or felt violated, I believe it's valid. But even for myself, understanding as being an owner, I would, if that's your quarterback, I'm rocking with you. So we're gonna get on this TV. We're gonna get whatever I'm gonna talk. We're gonna get you out. We're gonna get you out of this as best as we can possible. And keep it moving. Whether you get a couple game suspensions or whatever like that, that's fine. But let's be fair. Your conduct, based on what we signed up for, says this. You violated that, so we're going to have to give you something. But we still want you on the field. You still my mans.
I'm gonna tell you what I would do. If I'm Deshaun Watson and I'm in that situation, I'm paying my girl to go to college and learn how to do the shit her damn self. I'm not putting myself nowhere near kind of jeopardy to lose $200 million of generational wealth. She gonna learn how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna put myself in that situation. Or I do get a massage, there's gonna be a cameraman in there. And maybe an NDA is gonna be signed as well. I ain't trusting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. So raise your hands, everybody, if you like McDonald's in here.
I was like, "Ooh, I hope I didn't miss this." Man,
Go ahead, raise your hand if you like some McDonald's. Go ahead.
no, it's
Oh, you don't
disgusting.
like McDonald's? Get out of here.
No.
Now, every once in a while, I will go there to get some fries or get a sweet tea every once in a while, and that's sparingly. Like I may do that 4 times a year now.
You know what, Chris?
They don't even clean the containers. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. I was going to say, Chris, you gonna get some food. Raz ain't getting nothing.
I don't want nothing. It's okay. Give me fruits.
You just jet. Oh, they got fruits in there too. They got apples.
No, go to Publix or Kroger's or Walmart.
Expensive behind Publix. Get out of here. Come on.
Yeah, no.
But there was a story where, and also, and Chris, you probably, well, Raz, I know you know what I'm talking about. Chris, I think you know what I'm talking about too. And I'm not even sure if it's true or not because I found some evidence contrary to what other people believe. It might have been a skit, but it's still a story I think we know all too well. But the story is this guy who was the father of his ex, who happens to be his baby's mother. He came to give some food to his son, some McDonald's food. Now, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. See.
So, see. So the baby mama got mad because he only brought the son he had with her food and not the 3 other kids she had from other guys' food. She wanted him to bring all of them food at the same time. So she was pissed about that. Like, if you're going to bring food for one, you got to bring food for all, even though these ain't yours and we're not together anymore. You got to bring all of us food. It's only fair. So she was pissed about that. And there was a video for that. Let me see if I find it. There it is.
I'll play this job.
Y'all, every fucking day my baby daddy come here with one fucking meal for my child. But I have 3 other kids. We have 1 kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like, that's bogus as hell. Like, you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there he go, and I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he don't even. I'm finna expose out of him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up?
Exposing you.
Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What he like? What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
What about your other kids?
Okay, but them your kids' siblings though.
What are you talking about? What are you mad
Them my kids, them your kids' siblings though.
So what you?
So my other kids finna be left out.
You didn't feed them?
You know I don't get my food stamps to the 7.
Lisa, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
But how are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
Lisa,
them are his siblings though. He's not finna eat in front of all his other siblings and they're not eating no McDonald's. Why do I gotta put?
Bring him out to the car. I'll let him
No. He's not finna eat that shit at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I gotta bring? So when I bring my son food, I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound dumb.
How is that dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's?
So
you know I get food stamps on the 11th.
3 kids that ain't mine. 3 kids that ain't mine.
Yeah, they're his siblings. You knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, I did.
Yes, you did.
You expect me to take care of all.
Okay, now he sounds stupid.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids. Because I'm exposing you. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're full of shit in this bullshit. You only come here with one piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all then. He can't take that shit.
Listen what
He can't eat it.
Maybe if you had one or two, I can like.
Now she gonna say he can't eat it and he hungry?
It's 3 extra kids. What the? All like going to my mother.
Get out of here with that.
Spending money on those,
You gonna punish him?
Them not my kids.
Them are your kid siblings, though. Dumb.
So that's what you gonna go with. That's the one you gonna.
Those are your fucking kid siblings.
They my. So that means.
Yeah.
I take care of them.
So don't. No, I didn't say you have to take care of them. You can bring them something to eat if you bring one something to eat.
I bring them food every other day. What do you mean?
Exactly, but you don't never bring food for the other ones. You know I get my food stamps on the 11th.
Your babies.
Okay, but I'm saying we share the same kid as well.
Absolutely. So if you want to, if you feel like I feel the way about eating, take him in the room and let him.
I'm not taking my kid in the
Send him
room.
down to the car. He ain't even got. He ain't got to eat in front of his brothers and sisters. He can come right out to the car and eat with me.
No. You know what? Fine. Give it here.
Thank you.
Give it here.
Bro,
Give it here.
You shouldn't do that.
Oh,
Ain't eating this.
She threw it.
You.
yo.
Why you just do that?
Because you ain't bringing up for all the other kids. You stupid. Selfish as a like you're dumb as hell. You're dumb as hell. He not finna eat that.
Man, I will file a custody for my child
He
the
not
next
finna do
day.
that. If you can't do it for all, don't do it for none of them. But
Over McDonald's
Huh?
because she threw the McDonald's.
No, because her mindset is not right. I get the point,
Yeah.
but the whole problem right there is that's not his responsibility. His responsibility is his child, them together. That's his responsibility and got nothing to do with nobody else's. But how I was raised to share, to get for others, but everybody's not like that.
That's that's you being nice.
Right. I don't agree with her at all. What I said when I said that he sounds stupid is he didn't know what he was getting into when he met her. She already had 3 kids.
Oh yeah.
And then you have a child with her. So you did know what you were getting into, you know.
It was unplanned.
As far, yeah. And I really think it's a skit, to be honest. I really think it's just like, you know, something that they were trying to do for clout. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I don't know, because she seemed real and I wouldn't have threw away the food. I wouldn't have threw the food and the soda. That's crazy.
They split the fries over the kids or something.
You know, I mean, after she took it, she could have done what she needed to do on the inside. And I'm pretty sure if she got 3 kids and she getting stamps, she got to have a whole, not like she's selling them. She should have a whole hell of a lot of food in that house.
Oh, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was wondering, what the hell is she doing? Yo, just because you bring something like there was no McDonald's needed.
Yeah, she said he does it every day. So I probably, you know, the kids is looking at it and it's like, oh, he get McDonald's every day. Why we don't get that? But I feel her because I'm not going to have my child eating McDonald's and my other kids aren't. So I'm like, just take your son to McDonald's. Just pick him up, take him to McDonald's. Y'all do y'all. And again, I would just be like, what's your cash up? I'm going to cash up you some money for the other kids because you know they're going to want some. McDonald's cheap as hell.
Well, I think the thing we're missing here
Good
is
solution, Raz, but go ahead.
I think what we're missing is the dad is a bad parent because he's feeding his kid McDonald's every day. Can we say that?
Right.
Every day?
Every day.
Every damn day?
Every day.
Cook something, dude. Can't feed them McDonald's every day. She should have been mad about that. You gonna bring McDonald's every day? How about cooking some damn vegetables every once in a while? Get a bag of damn carrots and feed it to my kids.
Yeah.
That's cheaper than McDonald's.
Eleanor, yeah, I don't agree with him eating in front of the kids, you know, so I don't like that because it's just, that's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, y'all, but again,
it's not his responsibility, though.
It's not his responsibility.
He can do it. It's nice. It's like you don't want the old lady across the street, but it's nice if you do it.
So what if he had the money to get everybody something? Did that even matter?
There you go.
Nah, he got the money because every day.
Yeah, McDonald's ain't cheap, so yeah.
I mean, no. I think she said he do this every other day.
Okay, even every
every
week.
Yeah, even every but
But obviously she must be asking or because why would somebody do that every other day? I just don't get the whole situation. But I mean, for me, I know I would, whether I had it or not, I would try to make sure everybody has something. But it's not his responsibility to do it, and I think people get it confused. It's an emotional response to something or something that she wants to happen. It's just like, I remember going over to get, like if I picked up my son and my daughter, my two daughters, and take them somewhere, but there was cousins and little friends over at the house at the same time, and we were going to the movies and we were going to the park. Is it my responsibility to take everybody else?
There you go.
No. No, it's not. But sometimes I would feel bad because now they're like, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I would feel bad, like,
Yeah, I don't care about no crying. I'm gonna look at you like, what is that?
It's like, sorry, I'm not trying to
sorry, bye.
I'm not getting no overdraft fee on my bank account tonight. Sorry, I only got enough for one.
And one of the things I used to hate though, even with that, when you got cousins or other people's kids, got parents in the house, they'll want you to go, but they ain't trying to give you $20, $30 or try to give them money for the bill to go to the movies or go get food or something like that. I'm like, I stopped that though. Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, I can't. That's y'all paying.
But let's do that in reverse then. What if, okay, he has kids on the other side, none with her. Say he got 2 or 3 other kids besides the one they have together. And she buys clothes for the one they have together. Is she going to buy clothes for the other kids? Probably not.
No, she probably wouldn't. I would, because that's just me. I love kids.
All the time?
Yeah, all the time. Because
every time they want clothes, you're going to buy some other people's kids' clothes.
Yep, if they live in the same house together, yes. If they don't live in the same house together, it'll be like every once in a while. But like if they live in the same house together, then yeah, I wouldn't have no problem with that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're probably sharing custody, or maybe there's partial custody or whatever. But you also got your kids too. And if you're on food stamps and struggling yourself, and maybe they want high price clothes, and now you're going to buy the other kids high price clothes that are not yours.
Oh no!
I mean, if it's supposed to be fair, then I don't think it can be unless you're really going to do it. You're really going to put yourself out there.
And see, I really feel two things.
They don't want McDonald's; they want steak.
One, I'm not going to start a precedence that I can't continue. Two, if I'm just dating somebody, I would not. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're just dating, I'm not going to start something. But if we're serious now, I said we're going to be together. That would make a difference in the end. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not just going to be dating somebody and thinking, oh, they're going to roll out the red carpet, because that can end any day. But if we really working towards something, to do something together, that'll also influence. That makes a difference in how we proceed and what I buy and how I buy it for them. So the question, Eleanor says, what if you came to my house and I served everyone juicy steak and gave you bologna? How would you feel? It's a meal.
I was going to say that. As long as you fry it on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the nature of the relationship that you're serving him? Because if you're serving some regular random people steak, and this is your boyfriend or husband, then of course I would expect him to be mad. But if he is if he's a regular person, he gets bologna, and the man, the boyfriend, husband, whatever, is getting steak, I don't see what will be the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, again, you might not have had enough. You might already, what if I just came at the last minute? But if you know what I'm saying? Like I may have been an extra guest. Who knows? I don't know what the scenario is, but again, I'm glad I got something to eat. Thank you.
Yeah. See that. But what we're talking about is like children taking on the obligation of
Right.
feeding and taking care of someone else's children that's not yours. So it's like he's not obligated to do anything after the relationship is over with. She had came out with a second video and was like they were together and he was feeding her children McDonald's like that when they were together, but now they're not together. So now he's only giving it to his son that they have together. And with to children, they don't understand that. So I, as a mother, I can see her frustration because her children are asking, like, we used to get McDonald's like our brother. Now we don't get it no more. Like, what happened? Now they looking at us funny. Like, mama, what you do? Like, baby, if you only knew, he just want a little coochie. And I don't, but you can't tell your kids that. But so it's just like, you're looking at, if your children are asking you like what happened and you're frustrated with that, but he's not obligated at all by any means. As a person, like I said, take your son and go to McDonald's. I don't want my kids to see that, and then I'm going to pay for McDonald's, or you take your son to eat McDonald's. We're going to eat, what? Hattie B's or some shit. I don't know. Like,
Checkers.
Checkers, right. I didn't want to say Wendy's because,
You can say Wendy's.
No. I heard about Wendy's and I don't. Yeah. Wendy's is gross.
Arby's.
Oh yeah. Nobody's going to Arby's anyway. So.
Arby's. Somebody got to. Somebody keeping them business. But yeah, he's not obligated.
About this.
I didn't like how she was like yelling and screaming. I definitely didn't like how she threw the food. I did not like that. I was like,
I'll be done.
I would have just sent my little shorty out there, like, baby, go to your daddy. I would have stopped it. But that's why you got to create boundaries within your relationship, and you got to let them know that even if this doesn't work out, like, it's affecting the people that was in it with us, too. So how are we gonna proceed, with the kids, because they don't understand.
Because that needs to stop.
And let me say this, I get that. Yeah, I do think this probably does make the kids feel a certain way. See their little brother nom in on some, double cheeseburgers and some fries, and then they got spam.
I'll be like, Mom, how come my daddies don't bring us food?
Your daddy ain't shit. That's why.
Right, or they could be dead, in jail.
All of them, damn.
But again, it's a choice. It's bad choices,
right?
Like and I think he was trying to bring that out. Like, yo, you got three other kids, 3 different baby daddies. He was like, I'm not none of. I got a son by you. I was like, wow. But I know things happen. Like, but again, somehow or another, she's mismanaging her stamp money, her food money, whatever that is being mismanaged. Because there's no way with 3 kids, with 4 kids,
4 houses, 4
with 4 kids and herself living in the house, they should not be running out of food. They should not, you know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no. My homegirl got 5 kids and she get like $1,200. They eat though. Yeah, they do eat.
But see it.
$1,200. And then she worked too, so it's like they always got food. I go over there and be like, give me the card. I don't. She come with me to the store.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Eleanor, you're right, and it's not even about. See.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right, but their relationship. That's something that should have been done and discussed. Well, she shouldn't have been expecting that in the first place. Allow him to be who he is. Allow him to be nice. If you want to bring something, fine. If not, send him out to the car or however it's going to go. But you shouldn't have thrown that. That was disrespectful. It was. It was. Even with her bringing this up, trying to expose something, she exposed herself. In a lot of ways, a mature person could see that something's wrong. Like, yo, she ain't she's not a sound person to me on an emotional and mental basis, in my opinion. It was just so much in that video that to try to unpack, in my opinion, it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna say, where does it stop? Because she wants McDonald's food for all of them. Does he got to buy clothes for all of them? Does he got to take them on the trips with all of them? And because he's gonna have another life, he's probably gonna have another family, so he's gonna pay for. Let's say he has 2 more kids on top of his, and then she got 3. So he's gonna pay for 6 kids.
Yeah, she said that they're your kids' siblings, so he has to have multiple kids. But this is what happens when you lose a good man.
Wow.
For real. I could feel it in her tone and how she was like, I'm gonna expose him because everybody think you're this, and that. And
who thinks that? No, you think that.
No, everybody think that he's a nice man and a good person, but she tried to expose him to make it seem like he wasn't.
Right.
And that's what happens when women fumble a good man, you know? And I mean, at the end of the day, you can't expect someone to do what you want them to do. You know, like, people are not possessions or anything like that. You can't possess people. So you're lucky he's even bringing that to your child.
For sure, because some of it will not at all, even if it's their own. That's
right.
on you.
And obviously he wants to see his son.
Right.
You know, even if it's, you know, oh, I'm getting McDonald's every other day or every day or whatever like that. I want to see my son, you know, because we're no longer in a relationship.
Together. Right.
Right. So it's like, I want to see my son. And I'm sorry that, you know, you have multiple kids. I knew that when I met you. You know, I don't know why he put another one in the oven, but that's none of my business. Because
it was unplanned. Trust me.
3 strikes. That's a whole nother subject. But it's like, because that's a whole nother. But yeah, like, he's not obligated, you know. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person either. Right. I just feel like she's very emotional. She's not emotionally mature. She lost a good man and she's sad, mad about it. She missed him. She wants you back, Stink. But I don't know. After she threw that McDonald's, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with her no more. But that was very disrespectful.
Right, that's exactly what I said. I was like, yo, after that, I'd have been done.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, okay. I really see how you moving.
Yeah, because you really don't care about nothing. I don't care if it was $5, $4, $6. I don't care. I spent my money on it. I wanted to see my son. You're making it about you and something else that's not even relevant to what I'm trying to do right now today. Today, I'm trying to feed my son, see my son, and spend time with my kid. And you are preventing that because of your emotions. So, yeah. Ladies, stop losing a good man. Sometimes shut up.
Yeah, get you a guy that's gonna go to somewhere more healthy than McDonald's too.
Yeah. He's
every day, every other day.
He probably go to McDonald's because it's cheap, you know.
Oh, you know that's why he go to McDonald's.
But let's say on the other
4 now.
Now on the other emotional side of it, whether it's healthy or unhealthy for us, if his son loved that, that's gonna be a fond memory or that's a bonding type of situation. That's love. You know what I'm saying? He can be like, yeah, Daddy took me. You know, so that's other reasons why he doing what he doing.
Yeah. So I know one minute my son loved McDonald's. I wouldn't take him to McDonald's, but his granny would, you know, and he was just everyday McDonald's. And I'm like, no, it's not healthy. No, we're not eating it, but he enjoyed it, you know. And so I would give it to him like every other, you know, now he just don't eat it. Cause I was like, I'm not doing that. It's nasty.
Hey, Red, you see the question?
Hold up. What if the other baby dads brought the other kids food?
Eleanor be coming up with some stuff, don't she?
No,
I like Eleanor.
Yeah, Eleanor is a bomb.com.
If the other kids brought, then good for them.
Good for them.
We're not saying he can't do it. We're just saying he's not obligated to do it. If he does it, then kudos. He's a good guy.
No, but seeing his mindset,
it's not like child support.
He wouldn't mind because he's handling his.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't think
Child
that he would be
support is
upset.
obligated, but not bringing to McDonald's is not. You shouldn't want that to be obligated, but he's not obligated to do it. But child support is obligated to the kid that belongs to him and her. If they
Yeah,
do bring it to him, that's great. That's a good guy. Just like you're not obligated to feed the homeless. You should. It'd be very nice. A lot of people probably pass by homeless people all the time and have
Mhm.
plenty of food and plenty of money in their pocket to go buy food. You're not obligated to do it, but it is a good cause if you do it.
That was a good scenario. That was a good scenario.
yeah, it is a good scenario, and I don't think he would like have a seizure. I think that he would probably step his game up to make sure that he has the McDonald's like every day because the other
Mhm.
kids are getting it.
Elmore, you not frying that bologna is gonna give him a seizure. You got to fry the bologna.
Hmm.
You
It's
just
called
got
bologna.
bologna.
It's Russian. You know.
Yo, I'd have been tearing that up.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into the final subject of tonight. The Supreme Court decision. Of course, I'm pretty sure most people have heard they overturned Roe versus Wade. And now they've left it up to the states. It's not illegal everywhere. It's legal in probably most of the states that are red states that are for the Republicans. North Carolina being one of the states that still has it legally. But there has been a rash of protests, and some have turned violent. Some are looking kind of like the insurrection that happened in January when Trump got put out of office not too long afterwards.
Yo, the
And
GOV doing too much, bro.
Who now?
And sister, they doing too much. They got
Right.
their hands in too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The question, I guess, now is what is this going to look like the country? What is this going to look like for the country going forward throughout the United States? How is this going to look for women? And maybe a small little bit, how is it going to look for guys going forward without having the ability to just go in any state and get an abortion? Raz, what do you have to say on that? What do you think it will look like? Let's just say, let's say this year, next year, and beyond in the future.
It will be a lot of illegal abortions. It will be a lot of young girls, unfortunately, trying to hide it or get rid of the baby or go full term and kill the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then for guys, you know, I really think, I mean, everybody should be careful, but I don't think anybody's going to be having sex unprotected like that. You know, so
Shouldn't that be the goal?
it's kind of like a double-edged sword of some sorts. Like,
I can see where you're going.
you know, like it'll be good because people will be safer. Because with abortions, a lot of people was like, well, you know, if it happens, we could just get abortion. And they were being reckless with their bodies,
Right.
put themselves up to, you know,
Mhm.
STDs and stuff like that. I do not agree with them overturning it. Like I said previously, it is that woman's body. I should be over my body and control my body. But yeah, I think people are just going to be more careful. You know, people are going to be way more careful with who they're intimate with. And it ain't going to be overpopulation. You know, I think people are just either not going to have sex or they're just not going to have sex often.
Right.
So.
Or maybe they'll actually look at the time. Well, I'll say women will actually, and maybe guys will be more educated on it. The actual time in between the month time for a woman that
ovulation,
fertile, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The times that they're not, they'll actually look at those times a little bit harder. Maybe the guys are actually like, "Hey, is it almost that time? Do I need to hurry up and get it in 8 times a night before that?"
They're gonna have a whole calendar on their phone, like, baby, nope, you ovulating on today. No, I can't touch you.
That's a good question, Eleanor. Very good question.
I was great. Yeah, I'm glad she brought that up. I was ready to say that too.
No, that counts too, and because that counts as an abortion as well too.
Right.
Now, certain states can make amendments to, like, okay, we only have the morning after pill. You only be able to take the morning after pill. You won't have to go in and actually go and have a surgical abortion. but more than likely that probably won't happen. But what I do think will happen is like, well, how are people actually going to find out that you get the morning after pill? Because you can find anything on the internet as far as medication now, anything.
Oh, yeah. And
You
even
don't have to
even on the black web, you're gonna find it.
You don't even have to go on the black web. You don't even have to go that far. There's websites dedicated. I'm sure that you can go find a website somewhere with the morning after pill and get it just as easy.
Yep.
Now, what will happen is, I think what Texas was trying to do as part of their law, I think they have a 6-week abortion law. That 6 week is the time limit. If you get one at 6 weeks, you can go to prison for murder. So someone could tell on you and bring those charges against you for murder. I think that's what Texas is doing. If someone can tell me I'm wrong, then I'm willing to hear it. But I think that's what they're doing. Theirs is one of the more harsher abortion laws in the whole country. But yeah, to your question, Eleanor, the after morning, the morning after pill counts as well as the surgical. But the thing is, more women, the majority of women get medicinal abortions than surgical by far. By far, it's not even close. No,
it's way more comfortable.
I imagine so.
I mean, it'll do some stuff to you, but
Did they?
it won't open you up for infections or anything,
It used to be.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And then you had to go to your doctors and get them, or they subscribe a prescription, one of the two. But I do remember seeing it, and I was like, "Oh, dang, that's crazy." You know what I'm saying? But I said, I get it. I understand. One of the things. So, what's going to end up happening is the cost of abortion going to go up. If you can get morning after pills online, everything's going to go up because of the demand and the penalty of being caught. Because technology for online, if you're not registered to a certain state and you selling it and you're not in the right place at the right time and you ordering something, technology is going to be able to catch, probably they're going to tune up the technology to catch that. And, there's probably going to be charges or stuff that's going to be happening in regards to that as well. But a lot of people are going to be traveling across state, going to different states and getting this stuff done. But it's going to be at a high price. And that I can tell you. But as y'all stated before, people are definitely going to have to be more responsible. Because now, if you already have 2 kids or you got a kid and you in a relationship or whatever that is, you might be married or not married. It don't matter whether you married, you in a relationship or whatever that is, no matter you single. You do this in the wrong state, and you're gonna be behind bars. You gonna be sitting in court looking crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna ask you, what you in here for? Man, I got an abortion.
I'm not, like,
right.
Damn. That sound, man. They gave me 5 years.
Got an abortion.
It's not funny, but it's funny. It's like, man.
That's the way you said it, though. Like,
I know. Like, man, man, they just making it hard for women. Like, why do they want to control us like we are cows in a factory just producing? This is like setting us back.
Yo, Raz, I just thought of something. I just had a thought, and I was like, man, today's generation. Here's what I had a thought about.
Okay.
The TikTok generation. There's always videos for how to do things, DIYs or whatever. Somebody gonna make a TikTok about how to do an abortion. Somebody's gonna do that.
I already know. Ladies, drink mugwort tea 6 to 7 times a day, and it will make you have basically a chemical abortion.
Yeah. Yeah, Eleanor, hilarious.
Well, speaking of that, I think here's another thing that might happen. You might see an uptick in guys getting snipped.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
Because why can't guys have stipulations? I think if a guy has four kids, he should like I was gonna say go to jail, but that's just stupid. Like, can we have something? Because men are reckless. Like a woman, it takes a woman 9 months, basically 10 months,
Wow.
to have a child. But it takes a man can get 6 to 7, 8 women pregnant in 1 year.
All right.
But it's up to the women too.
Eleanor crazy.
Yeah, she said,
She said, I don't fear Nick Cannon. Oh yeah, no,
She
no,
had
he has
her
to stay
plumbing
away.
removed. So she said she don't fear Nick Cannon.
But you know, I know it's on the subject, but in a whole different area of she's funny. So we talking about on a spiritual realm, right?
Right.
This is again, this is what I done heard through the grapevine, that this is coming across and happening now is because the spiritual entities that are trying to get here to do work to save and heal the world, they can't come in and do what they need to do because the babies because they're killing the babies before they're even born. So they're not gonna have a chance to get it, to come here to Earth to do their healing or do whatever they're supposed to do here. Whether that's for ascension, for what you call that cycle, whatever they need to do, they can't even get here to do it now because all the star seeds coming here. They can't even get in to get on Earth to help or do what they need to do. So on the spill, I heard through the grapevine on the spiritual realm that this is what's happening. So somehow they are manipulating in a different way to have these laws passed so that more can get in here to be able to help us here on Earth.
I'm gonna tell you another.
Okay, Chris. Okay, that was deep.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you another outcome that's going to happen or needs to happen. People are going to have to stop looking at the presidential election as the pageant it is. Stop looking at the pageantry, and that's the only place you go to vote for to get your issues handled. You're going to have to start, if you want abortion put in your state, if you want it taken out of your state, you're going to have to vote on the lower levels and actually listen to what your governor, mayor, senators have to say. You can't just keep relying on what the president does, because we all know the president's going to say one thing and mean a totally different thing once he gets there. Not to say that the other politicians are not going to say it, but you can hold them more accountable easier than you can the president. People are going to have to actually start paying attention to lower level offices. And then the president will actually start caring about what the little people have to say. He don't care about what they have to say until the fourth year, until it's time for election year. People are going to have to start paying more attention to these lower level offices. So if they want to put abortion in or not, they're going to have to start paying attention. Now, since news media has gotten a hold of the presidential election, since Kennedy had a debate on TV for the first time and became a pageant, that's what people have done. They've watched the pageant happen every 4 years, and they only listen to what he has to say, and then they like, the hell with it. I'll vote for Democrat or Republican, whoever is there. I don't care. They're not going to listen to your issues at all unless you're the president. You're going to have to start paying attention to everybody now.
Yeah.
So, you know what's amazing though? Because all this stuff is being sparked now and the attentions are being brought. But this is the first time I was coming back from Columbia, Maryland this weekend and was riding through different counties. I have never seen, this is unprecedented. I've never seen it before. Like how many melanin people are applying for these, or putting their hat in the ring for sheriff, for all these different local government, local level type of positions out there right now. And it blew my mind because I didn't even see maybe like 5 or 6 towns. I did not see, I probably saw only 2 Caucasian people running again, but everybody else was melanin. I was like, wow.
That's awesome.
So I feel like if you're gonna play the game, you're gonna have to saturate it.
Yeah,
Somebody gonna pick. They're gonna have to pick somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm surprised that this even passed. Like they overturned it. It's so many women out here. Like, why didn't we get together and, but like, Red said, a lot of people aren't paying attention to the elections. They're not caring about who's in office. Like the president, we all know the president don't run shit. He's
No,
just
he
a
don't.
face,
Yeah, he's a puppet.
So it's like, why haven't we understood that by now? And I just think this is gonna wake people up.
Yeah.
I mean, it should have already woke people up from already what's been going on. But like as far as like women though, no, we have to get together.
And I would say not even even with that, I just think America as a whole just have to start holding people accountable and keep them pressed up against the wall, because if people don't feel that pressure, they feel like they're going to do whatever they're going to do anyway. And, if people are pressing back now, so that, there's going to be some changes. But the other thing that just goes on, and I noticed here in Virginia, what they started doing when they hold these meetings, like council meetings and different stuff like that on bills and things that they're going to try to run through to push forward or have people to vote or speak about, they stop holding them at night when people could get off work or start doing different things. They would hold them. At like on people's lunch. Some people got half an hour lunch. You can't run downtown and say what you got to say and get back in your car and go back.
Yeah.
So they started doing stuff at times when they didn't want, like they wasn't able to hear the public, whether they voting on bringing a casino or something in town or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So people could not say or oppose correctly, put it that way. So we got to find another way. And they were voting on stuff at those times too. So whether we write letters and make phone calls, we got to ramp up and do something a little bit different, emails or something.
Okay. Well, see, in to something Raz said a little earlier, what's going to happen too, like you were saying, is you're going to have to be more responsible with who you're with and more selective of who you're with. Does anyone know the story of Jane Doe?
Of who?
Jane Doe. Not Jane Doe, Jane Roe. For the Roe versus Wade.
Tell us.
Okay. Well, do you know the real name? Her real name? That was
I know I need to do more research.
a name just to hide out who she was. Okay. Well, her real name was Norma McCorvey. Right. And of course, she was the one that was part of the lawsuit. So class action lawsuit, of course, that involves all the women of the United States to give them the right to have abortion. She had her first kid at 16, and she gave it up for adoption. And she had another kid right after that. I think she was 19. She gave it up for adoption. Of course, this was before abortion was legal. The third kid she was pregnant with, I think she was 21, 22. And in the state she was in, they did not allow abortion. And she neither had the funds or anyone who could provide her with the funds to go to another state and have it done. And so she sued to be able to have the right to have abortion in the state she was in. And she had a couple other lawyers, whether you want to call them ambulance chasers or not, they came and worked on her case. And eventually they took it to the Supreme Court. And we all know it passed 49 years ago. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it and what side you're on, the case was decided well after she had the kid. So she ended up giving that one up for adoption. The story doesn't end there, though, because of course, she had these babies with kids, with men. That's how it works. And then she ended up started dating women. She had a partner for a few years. And then in the 90s, early 90s, she renounced all her previous thoughts of believing in pro-choice. She said she was pro-life. And she remained that way. Oh, and she also, converted to Christianity and whatnot. And then she renounced being a lesbian and also. And then later on,
She was delivered.
right, something like that. But
He healed.
all that, she, not too long before she died, she said that she took money from people who were pro-lifers and gave her money to say that she was against abortion. So she said she pretty much lied to get this money, publicity, money that came with it as well.
Same thing politicians do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't even get, it's not all the way done yet. And I'm going to leave some stuff out to get to where I'm about to get to at the end. The third child that she was going to have aborted, but she didn't make it in time with the Supreme Court decision. She ended up giving up for adoption. She wanted to find. And it seemed like she wanted to do it because of publicity. She had a special person, we'll say that, to go, agent to go help her find her daughter. And she wanted to do this meet and greet in front of the Inquirer, one of those grocery store magazines, and make it a big deal, and make everybody see it. And then people, are happy and they buy it, and she gets a certain amount of money for that. And this woman found her daughter. She went to go meet her, and she said, "I found your mother. Not your adopted mother, your real mother." She was adopted by that point. I think she was like 18 or so. And she said, "Your mother is someone very famous." And she's like, she always heard that her mom was famous, like maybe a movie star. And she's like, "No, not quite in the movies." She's like, "Well, okay, what does she do?" I'm like, "Your mother is Jane Roe." And she wasn't familiar who Jane Roe was. Maybe she might have been too young and maybe never heard of it. Her adopted mother had heard about it, and she said she was against abortion. And the daughter, who after that also said she was against abortion too. But then she said, okay, the mother that found, not the mother, but the agent that found her was like, "Well, I have to tell you something. Your mother is the person who started the abortion trial. And what's up, Hard's experience?
What's up?
She started the abortion trial. She is the main reason why abortion became illegal in all 50 states. And she was basically, what she found out in that experience is she would have been aborted if that passed in time. And you just imagine, as the daughter who's trying to meet your mother for the first time ever.
Wow.
Decades later, to find out your mother is the reason why abortion is legal. Not just mad because of that, but mad that you wouldn't have been if it had passed in time. And they, and she could not make the decision on whether to even meet her after that because she was devastated. And she tried and tried, but long story short, they couldn't quite meet each other because they had a toxic relationship, and she couldn't quite get over the fact that,
of course,
he would have killed her if that thing had passed.
Right.
And she had, and actually, the Norma McCorvey, she met the other children that she gave up for adoption too. They were kind of okay with her. Norma McCorvey was on her deathbed, and they told the third child that got, adopted and would have been killed. They told her she doesn't have long left. And I'm paraphrasing some of this, but she don't have long left and might need to go make your peace. She couldn't do it. She couldn't go make her peace because she couldn't get over the fact that she would have been dead if that case had been, overruled everything in time. And she died off, and she never made peace with her.
Well,
she would have been born into another body.
Perhaps so. Sometimes I believe that.
Yeah, perhaps. But, the thing is, too, even though I probably been mad at my mom for a minute, but I would have been mad at her forever because obviously there was a purpose, a reason why I made it, and I'm here.
Yep.
You know, so I wouldn't hold it against her forever.
It's hard not to. I would understand.
Yeah, but I mean, it would. So sometimes it's one of those things like you rather hear the lie than the truth.
Yeah, I can
Can
see.
you live with the truth or can you live with the lie?
Mm.
But
Mm.
yeah, it's one of them things.
I think
Yeah.
that she might have taken it in a negative way because for one, she was given up for adoption, and then for
Mhm.
two, to learn that she was trying to get an abortion, so she just feel like she's unwanted.
Yeah.
From jump. Even if she was able to get an abortion or whatever, she just knew that her mom just didn't want her at all.
Yeah.
And it
So,
and it
Even
goes back to
she.
irresponsibility. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
back in the day, honey, they,
yeah, okay, yeah.
you know,
It was
Yeah.
different.
You say they. What were you gonna say back in the day, Raz? What happened?
they didn't care. They was
They
out
was getting
there.
it in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
You
gonna say
know?
the opposite. I thought you were gonna say like they were been shamed. I guess for
Mm-mm.
I don't
Now
know,
the
Well, at
dude.
16, she might have been shamed.
a kid out of wedlock or something like that.
Yeah, because they was like what, 8-year-old, 12-year-olds were getting married to like men in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
They were shooting in caves a lot.
They was, yeah. As long as once the child had gotten to childbearing years, she
Hmm.
was basically married off.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if she did, she was pregnant at 16, she was out of wedlock, she probably was ashamed. And then again at 19, not being married, and then again at 21, you know. So,
Chris.
but I just know, Chris, you crazy. I just know nowadays, like we should at least have that option. But people are reckless nowadays. Like there's condoms out there.
Hmm.
There's spermicides out there. It's just
It's a lot of stuff.
yeah. Like a woman, we even got a cup we can put inside of us to catch the sperm. Just it's a
Is
lot
it,
of stuff out there.
is it a party cup, solo cup?
Yeah, it's a party cup.
It's very malleable.
Hmm. Hmm.
Listen, you should not be able to put a party cup inside there. That's an
A
issue.
baby comes out of our vagina. Come on now, a whole fist can go in there.
Out. I didn't.
Oh, it comes out. What I say, in?
No. I'm just saying, if we're talking about red solo cup, you can put it in there. You ain't supposed to put certain things in there. And a red
Woo, that's
solo
a
cup
whole
is
other subject.
It's saran wrap.
damn. I hate you.
Yeah, I just feel like a lot of women are just reckless. I mean, men are reckless too, but a lot of women, we know that once that blood goes to y'all's penis, like y'all not really just thinking. Y'all can still think, but y'all not thinking. Y'all want to,
All the
get it
blood
off.
down there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, so as a woman, I control the situation. No condom. Why are you so comfortable with shooting up inside me? That's
Yeah, that's crazy.
weird.
Yeah.
Like I just never been the type of person to be like, oh, we can have sex, unprotected, and yeah, you could just, shoot my club up. That's nothing. I'll clean myself up. The hell? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's weird. It's weird to me that I don't understand like women, and then they have multiple. Okay, if you're gonna have one sexual partner or whatever, or one or two or whatever, which you want to switch them up, but women are having multiple, like 4, 5, 6.
Like dudes be doing.
Yeah, just
Yeah, they willy nilly with it.
Mm-hmm.
it's all reckless. And
But
then I think that because, people was like, oh, I could just go get an abortion. They're like, oh, if it happens, I could just, get rid of it now.
Yeah. If you take away a consequence, then yeah, you're like, well, shoot, I just go get rid of it tomorrow.
but the
Right.
scariest thing for me, even besides that, is just the fact that two things. Somebody can actually pretend that they're pregnant, even if they're not pregnant. They can try to get you one way financially, Two is just the whole factor, man. You remember the stat that I provided on your site,
Yeah.
on the hostile therapy site?
Yeah.
So it's like 1 out of every 3 or 4 people have a STD, or they can't get rid of it. And from 2000 to current today, right now, it was like every year it's probably like 1.5 million new people every year that's contracted or passing something on to somebody else.
Okay.
That's a lot of people. You know what I mean? So
Eleanor, hello. Come on now, throw babies.
hey,
That's nasty too, though. Like man, you
Mhm.
can't be doing that to everybody now. Like
no,
you really,
for
they're gonna
sure.
be beefing and shit. You know, on different playgrounds in your throat.
The hell.
Mhm.
Okay. Raz, I'm gonna speak on something you said the other show.
Okay.
You remember when you were talking about people fight more for what happens to the baby before it's here on Earth than what happens to it after it's born, which was a good point because you can say giving up for adoption, but are these adoption agencies the best place always for a live kid? And do they even give them to a good parent after that? Do they even give a crap about some of these kids once they do go to adoption and go to another kid? Some of them are given to the worst parents imaginable. It could be given to a Corella DeVille that just wants to
Yeah,
do something
Sex
bad.
trafficking.
Yeah,
it's a lot of ugliness going on
Yeah.
in this world.
yeah.
It's going to be a very high percentage of adoption. Well, not adoption, but like people giving their kids up. Like you're forcing me to be a parent. Oh, okay. Well, now y'all parent my child.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to deal with it.
You got to look at both sides of that. So yeah, that's a very good point. You can't say, well, yeah, okay, you can't do anything to get rid of the kid. Okay, so what are you going to do once it's here? Do you have some sort of method or some sort of money you're going to give up to form a housing for these kids, or some sort of investigation or whatever to make sure they go to actual good parents? Because that doesn't always happen. Sometimes they never get to a good parent, or
Yeah.
sometimes they don't get the parents.
Yeah. Once they age out, because I mean,
Right? Adoption agencies.
you can adopt a child. I mean, I'm not like saying it's an age restriction or whatever, but realistically, parents that want to be parents, they want to have a baby, or a toddler, someone that they can like reprogram in a
Right.
way.
Yeah, I get
You
you.
know, once they get about 8, 9, 10 years old, they already done experience some,
Terrible stuff.
yeah. And now they need counseling.
Mhm.
Now they could be a potential serial killer.
Yeah, it's like you raising narcissists and psychotic kids
Yeah.
just because they weren't something being unplanned. This is something as being unplanned can turn your child's life into a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, and hurt people. So it's just gonna be this cycle going on.
Yeah.
And again, it's awful. But again, that overturn, um, it's just gonna make people be more responsible. You have to. I mean, even before that, you people needed to be more responsible.
Right. And that's what's going to have to be. And I hate when we do talk about, I'm not saying y'all, but when I'm talking about majority of people, when we're looking for a solution to a problem, we're only trying to come up with one thing, and that's supposed to fix it. When it comes to gun problems or whatever, or some abortion overruling, whatever, it can't be just one thing. You can't just say, well, we're just going to be more careful. Okay, of course, that's one part of it. But in case something does slip out, no pun intended, what are you going to do if that happens? What are you going to do if that person can't take care of the kid? Then you need to work on the adoption agencies being so better, not being so overrun. have the way the ruling to give them better parents. I don't know how you do that, but the way you give them better parents, better ways to raise them while they're not at a parent's house, while they're at an adoption agency or
A foster home. The problem is the foster home.
foster homes. There you go.
You know,
Word.
But one of the things that parents have to understand is that these are not normal, everyday kids. You see what I'm saying? Their traumas and their experiences, by the time they even get to you from one household to the other, there's a lot you're going to have to deal with. If you're not equipped to continue to show them love and consistency, that might help them or get them some type of counseling, get them some help. It's going to be a rough road, but that's how. And you can't just give them up that easy. But you can send them back. But again, it's just a lot. You have to know going in that this is not a regular everyday child or your born blood child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's different. It's way different, and you got to deal with a lot of stuff. And a lot of parents aren't equipped. They think they're normal, but they're not normal. So you can't, like, your normal everyday avenue, how you would address this and address that is not the same as you dealing with a foster or adopted child.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So there has to be some education with that.
So, Raz, what would you tell your teenage daughter how to maneuver herself in this, if she's in a state that has illegal abortion, how she should maneuver herself from a teenager to an adult? What would you tell her?
I'll just tell her, be responsible. You know, be better selective of whoever you do give your body to. And I mean, and if she wants to go that route, like she does get pregnant, she wants to have an abortion, like we can go to a different state if we can. But I'm definitely going to educate her about sex. I'm definitely going to educate her about the law and the risks that she's exposing herself to. And, you know, we'll just deal with it. I'm going to always support my kid, regardless of, you know, whatever she wants to do. I'm not that type of parent. I'm not going to be that type of parent and be like, oh, no, you're young and then you're pregnant. You know, we got to get rid of it, because some parents are like that. You know, I'm just going to talk to her and just listen. Your actions and decisions will affect your life long term. So you have to be strategic. You have to be smart, and you cannot play with yourself. You know, because a baby is big responsibility. I did not choose to be a single mother. Nobody goes in a relationship wanting to be a single mother, or, you know, wanting to have multiple kids. It just it happened. Some people do want multiple kids, but
I'd say some of them.
What she said.
Some people want to have, you know, and that's good. That's, you know, repopulate. But me, I was one and done.
Raz said, she said, you know, don't play with yourself. She's gonna play with herself at some point, but not the way you.
Well, that's all abstinence.
Masturbate. Hello, I am masturbate shorty, okay? Because I don't play. Man, having the dildo shoot blanks and stuff. Come on now, like, that's the best. But it's just, you gotta you just gotta be careful with your body. Like, you know, and sex is not, a lot of times people try to, like, they're too hypersexual because, you know, maybe they were exposed to sex a little too early, or maybe they feel as though they only get attention and love through sex. But I'm gonna always teach my daughter self-love. Like, you love yourself first, because now when a man comes and talks to me about sex, like, oh, you look so good, I do this, you know, like, that's, why are you coming to me? Talk to me nice. You know, it's not about sex all the time. You know, I want to know about your intellect, you know. But yeah, I'm definitely teach you self-love.
But yeah, and Raz, when you talk about that self-love, right?
Mm-hmm.
probably in my life, just doing something nice for somebody. Like if their tire was blown on the side of the road, you help them change the tire, or you might have helped them with schoolwork or something, or whatever that is. Somebody walking on the side of the road gave them a ride home, or whatever that might be. I've had women who actually, and actually looking for, in order for them to pay you back.
Yep.
They was ready to. I was like, nah, I don't need that. I'm good. I appreciate it, but nah.
They never had that. They never. I won't say never. Well, I don't know. I have been exposed to some great men in my life, and I am so have those men in my life. I wouldn't know what a good man was. I would still be out here dumb in a way. I'm always smart, but like it took multiple men that was mature to teach me the game. I call him Coach. Shout out to Coach. But
yes.
But it's just some women never ever had a man to do something nice for them and did not want anything in exchange.
Exactly. There you go.
And so they think, let me give me that. Let me give them that. And then some women too, they use that because they're like, ooh, look at this duck. He done stopped and changed my tire. What else can he do for me? So they use that and they think that, that's what they have to, gain control. But
friend zone.
It's more than that. If you love yourself, if you value yourself, men see that and they will react to you differently. Like I get a lot of my friends, they be like, oh, I bet you, because I have a lot of brothers and stuff. Shout out to my brothers. They're like, why do they do stuff for you? And this, and that. I bet y'all had a relationship. Never. Ever. I never even flirted with them, because I respect myself and that's my brother. And I'm not going to use my body to gain anything. I don't have to have sex with anybody to get what I want. So, message.
Be responsible for your body.
You gonna give it to me.
If you say you in control of your body, be in control of your body.
Yeah.
I done had men tell me, I don't think that you're attracted to me because we haven't had sex. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're like, I might be, but not today.
I mean, no, it's just, I just want to get to know. I want to get to know somebody because at the end of the day, I never ever want to sit with myself and be like, damn, I done gave this man the best part of me, and now I feel bad because now I'm gonna be like, dang, all men ain't this, and that. I don't believe in that. I don't even say that. I don't say all men. I hate it when women say that. It's just the men that you deal with.
Right.
But I just don't want to feel less than because I gave a great part of myself to somebody.
You get your life, a whole damn life.
Yeah.
Will hopefully be a big contributor to society.
Yeah.
Raised correctly.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I was gonna say, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, it's gonna be a high tubal ligation. Like a lot of women are going to get their tubes tied.
I can see that too. That's a good point.
Yeah, because if I have another baby, y'all the uncles, and I'm getting my tubes tied. I'm getting my tubes tied because honestly, in different states, you have to have. I live in Tennessee, so in Tennessee, you have to have 2 kids to get your tubes tied. I feel like that law needs to change.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, or a certain age too, right?
Yeah, you have to be a certain age too. Yeah, but you have to have 2 kids. Why do I have to have 2 kids? I should just go and be like, I want my tubes tied because I don't want no kids.
Raz, you live near Murfreesboro?
No, it's like 30 minutes from me.
Oh, okay. No, I got some people that live out there.
In Murfreesboro?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about moving out there, but
I don't know where that is.
The Ratchet.
It's like 20 minutes from downtown. Is it Nashville?
Downtown.
Yeah.
It says 30 minutes, but it's actually like an hour.
Because that traffic is
Yep.
coming in and out of the air, bro.
Yep.
I thought Atlanta's traffic was ugly.
Most people can't drive, man. I was in Memphis one time. Memphis people will like wreck. They will run into you just to rob you.
Yeah, I've definitely
I seen it happen.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that before.
Damn.
Make it look like something else, a diversion.
That's insane.
No, they will ram the back of you just to rob you.
Didn't a football player get killed like that a few years ago? A famous football player, somebody did that to him, and they rammed the back of him, and then he got out and they robbed him. I feel like I heard that about maybe 5 years ago.
It could have been a basketball player.
Somebody like that. I felt like I heard that about.
But yeah, I mean, what would y'all tell your daughters? You know, like, how would you give them advice on like what to do?
Well, I guess I would say it's not about fun out here, because if you end up getting a child and not knowing who you're with, you could be left destitute by yourself.
Yeah.
Do you have the means to take care of it and give it the best life possible? You don't want to give a child a mediocre life. You don't want to give an average life. You want to give the best life you can, and give it the best possibility to have a productive life once they become an adult or whatever. So it's a huge decision.
Yeah.
So you need to make that, like, you're going for a job search, you need to be selective with who you're having sex with, because that person, not just a child, that guy, more than likely, unless he just abandons, will be in your life for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Somehow, some shape or form. You don't want that stress in your life. He may be a bad guy, maybe a good guy, but you're taking that chance that happens if you're not selective with who you're with. It's not a game out here.
Nah, it ain't a game. But in addition, to what you were saying, they are a lot like me, because I've taught them to, to get out, travel, live your life, have fun, but also protect yourself. I said, because you settling down or you have children too, always like you gonna be like one of your girlfriends or something like that. They asking mom or grandma to watch the kids, and you can't go nowhere and go out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I kind of got them in that mindset, like, focus on your career, do what you want to do first, and focus on those things, and and be sure to protect yourself. It's a lot of stuff that can happen. You can get out here. It ain't a game. It ain't a joke.
What's the risk versus the reward?
But I kind of gave them a little sneak peek too, because when you have, let's just say, if you have other people at your house, the parents go do something and they got to watch them, and they older, but they watching the kids. They don't want to watch no kids for real. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of done a psychological game with them too, as well. It's like, this is what you gonna face, if you don't be selective, if you don't protect yourself.
Yeah.
Babysitters is not cheap, and child care is not cheap.
I'm not. My mama charged me a hefty penny. Okay.
You was like, so it got to be worth it if I'm going out on some date or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And grandmas go to the club nowadays too. They don't stay at home like they used to.
Man, listen, they don't watch kids no more.
They don't shell peas no more. They shell guys.
Yeah, I just want, like the young girl, because I have a niece, and she was just in love with this boy, and then recently he put his hands on her and stuff because he wanted her to have a baby by him, and my niece is 15. And then plus some other stuff. She didn't want to be with him no more or whatever, so he got mad. But like stuff like that, like a baby is not. It's not like it's not going to tell you that a man loves you. Baby, it's not going to be proof of love. It was a creation of love, yes, but that doesn't mean that man loves you.
Right.
I say it may have been a creation of love.
And he
Oh
ain't.
no, it was a creation of love, honey.
I mean, yours might have been. I'm saying. I'm just saying some.
And he ain't gonna stay. A baby not gonna make him stay.
Yeah, it might have just been a good time and something happened, but it doesn't mean.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. It's like, I think that's where some people get kind of misconstrued. That just because they have a baby with you, that doesn't mean that he loves you.
Yeah, don't mean they love you.
And some women think, and some guys think like since they feel the love of their parent or somebody don't love them, that the baby gonna give them the same love, and they don't understand that it's a headache. It's a different type of love, but it ain't the same love you thinking. It ain't whatever void they have, they think that's gonna fill it.
Right.
But it's not. It makes it worse. It's different. So yeah. So if we teach, if we have our daughters and our sons to be whole and not be so vulnerable.
There you go. Whole.
Yeah. A lot of stuff would not be going on and happening.
Low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Pressured into it. It's like every time when I look at my friends, like when I was younger, I would just look at my friends because they're like, well, he wants me to do this and do that. And I was like, you having a baby by this man is doing what for you? Like you're gonna be producing a baby. You can't work like that. I worked up until like a week before I was due. But like sometimes, people just can't work.
Right.
So you're not, and then you have to rely on someone else, So
they don't want to do it.
I was scared to rely on my baby daddy because not saying that he wasn't really responsible like I was, but just relying on someone else, while I'm bringing my first child into the world, it was scary because I always made sure my bills was good. Everything was good with him. It's kind of, he had to learn responsibility. And so it put fear in me to even rely on him, solely on him, And so I was just like, I'm gonna make sure I make these moves. I paid everything up and just make sure he didn't have to worry, as well being the only one with income. So
yeah. Well, there's that thing too, is the person you lay down with, you better be sure that's gonna be the person that can cover you and can protect you.
Yep.
If a situation like that does go down.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. That's
good night.
Good night.
We about to say good night too.
For sure.
I ended on that one, guys.
Man, I tell you, it's real out here. It's been real for a long time. But you just got to keep it realer.
I know that's right.
And not on a what you call it. When I was younger, I dated people or liked somebody either based on their potential. Oh, that shit went out the window a long time ago on potential.
Yeah. Some people die every day and do not reach their full potential. Forget all that. Sorry.
What they was potentially supposed to do, or what they can't. Nah, ain't no potential no more. You already got to be there and have it. I ain't want to teach somebody nothing.
Or it's at least this much obtainable because no.
But,
like I had a homegirl, she was like, he doesn't, I'm not looking for a man. He doesn't have money. He doesn't have to do anything. I can support myself. I don't need him to do nothing for me.
Then what can he do for you? What's the point?
I was like, can he fix a toilet? And she was like, no.
Oh, that's crazy.
Can he put a door on the hinges? No. Oh, nah. I need me a handyman and an accountant sometime. I need me somebody.
I was like, some of these men and women out here are like the politicians.
That's only going to last but for so long. She's going to like him doing nothing but for so long. And then when that argument happens and then she reminds him that he does nothing, then that's where it's going to go south. That's going to last but for so long.
Some men like that, though. Some men like their woman taking control.
Man, they're capping.
I done seen it. And then I'm looking at him, looking at her, looking at him like,
what's going on here?
Why you let her do you like that? But I gotta be quiet because like
It ain't so bad.
You sure he got balls? You sure he's not a woman either?
I mean, I'm sure he has balls, but it's just some men like alpha women. Some men like to.
Then I still played it.
Well, you know.
Maybe he transferred his to hers. You know, he took her ovaries instead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tiffany said that, you know, y'all coochie fell out. Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, yeah.
She said y'all coochie fell out.
Yeah.
But
that's why y'all upset.
Because it'd be I kind of have a balance with it. If I'm wrong about something, yeah, you can go ahead. Yo, get at me. But it ain't gonna be overboard. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things. It's a balance too. If there's validity to it, you got me. But if it ain't no validity, or because there's one thing I have to agree is that when you come together, we already knew what we kind of wanted, but we agreed that we wasn't gonna go at each other like that. Mm-hmm. If we can't sit down and talk about it or balance some things out or whatever that is, but I'm not gonna come at you like I have in the past, where argument turned into full-fledged
like brawl.
Yeah.
But I get turned on when I argue.
It's like, you know, look, and for real, like some people do that just because they know what they're gonna get.
Like, let's make up.
Yeah.
But it's not like I don't even, when I talk to my partner, like I'm not yelling and screaming. I don't do none of that. I used to do that, but like now I'm more touchy. I'm like, I'll touch you and be like, no, like I'm holding your hand, I'm rubbing on you, and I'm like, baby, let's just figure this out. And then even if I've done this several times because I knew I was gonna get some penis, I was like, you're right, dude was wrong. Wrong. I'm like, you know what, baby, you're right. I just don't even want to argue no more. Just come here.
But what did that solve though?
We ain't talk about it no more.
Like, I don't care.
And then the problem didn't happen no more because he was just like, dang, you know, then he woke up, was like, maybe I was in the wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a reverse psychology because I'm not giving you the energy that you're giving me. I am calm. I am, you know, peaceful, you know, so you're going to feel bad. You're going to be like, dang, she didn't give me the reaction that I wanted. I thought she was going to go, you know, it was going to be a debate. She gave in to me. So let me take myself out of my own opinion and be like, you know what, baby, you was right. I know, babe.
You calmed him down. And he probably had time to think about it and process it. I'm like, dang, why did I say that? I knew I was wrong.
I gave him some good, you know. So he happy. You know.
And instead, if you had the opposite reaction, he probably just would have been mad and probably would have forgot about what he was mad about. Just would have stayed mad.
And but that, you know, that's the thing that I hated for a while was makeup sex, because the other person be like, you know, they'll go ahead and take their breasts and use it as a pacifier, like put this in your mouth and shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty much. And they didn't want to, or give me money and buy me gifts. They didn't want to talk about the problem or try to get better at whatever it was, the issue. And so once I realized, I hated that. But
can you just do at the same time? Couldn't you just? Can you just?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Wow. You know, while she's.
But it was just with that person though.
Yeah, I'm just saying while she's talking, she put a breast.
She didn't have good communication. Because I mean, we'll talk about it, you know, but I like to have conversations where it's calm, because I've been in a domestic situation and it was like no matter what I said, you know, like it was just reaction, you know. And so like I'm more,
ain't nobody listening,
right? You know, because everybody's so upset.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I just learned that I'm gonna hear you out and I'm not gonna meet you where you're at. And then honestly, maybe we shouldn't even have this conversation right now. Maybe this is for another day, because right now it's not. We can't work on it right now. You know, you don't see anything but you right now.
For real.
So yeah, so it's like, let me give you some loving, because maybe you had a long day, maybe you stubbed your pinky toe on some shit. I don't know. You know,
Stepping on a child's Lego. You
man,
can't.
man, I had to get on my son today about that. But yeah,
To twist the ankle.
yeah, zipped yourself up in your zipper by accident.
Oh,
It happens to women too.
It does?
Yes.
There's something about Mary happens to y'all too?
You said something about who?
There's something about Mary happens to y'all too? Please tell me you've seen that movie.
Oh, that's painful.
I don't.
Never seen that movie?
No. I'm gonna look it up now. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch
Homework
it.
assignment. You got to watch it by Sunday.
Okay, I can watch it tonight.
Yes.
I go to work tonight.
Please do. Please do. Great movie.
There's something about Mary.
Yeah, there's something about Mary. Great
There's
movie.
something about Mary.
Yes, it's a comedy. Very funny. And you'll see what I'm talking about within like the first half hour.
Okay.
Great. All right, Kyle. We're going to wrap it up, guys. Let's get ready to get out of here. Appreciate everybody for coming out and listening to Hostile Therapy again on Thursday at 7 p.m. and getting some hostile therapy, not because you want it, but because you need it. Look, even she said it too. It's a great movie.
Yay.
Chris out. Oh,
I was like, who is that?
Go ahead and plug that right quick, Chris.
Say that again, bro.
Go ahead and plug that right quick, and then we'll get out of here.
All right. So everything you would like to know about me that I have going on, go to www.caenterprises.com. It has myself as an author, it has my publishing company, public notary information, and my Issues of Men platform information on there as well. Join me on YouTube and Facebook for the Issues of Men, and Instagram as well. So that's when I'll go ahead and plug that in. Also a model for King's Closet, so I'm gonna plug that in real quick.
King's Closet.
Yeah, you gotta go check that out. I'm gonna put the website.
Yeah, go check it out.
Did your wife approve that?
Yeah, we good.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, she probably approved it. Probably got some stuff for him from there.
Yay.
Push it in.
Yeah. Bam. There it is. www.kingscloset594.com. Go check it out.
Got some stuff in there for the guys besides Hoochie Daddy shorts.
Yeah, besides Hoochie Daddy shorts.
Who like them Hoochie Daddies?
I'm not going back to the 1980s with y'all.
I am.
Please put them. And you tall. Put them on.
Exactly why I'm not putting that.
Put them on.
Light skinned guys can't wear that and get away with it.
Dark skin either.
Light skin probably even more, but yeah, dark skin either. No one can get away with that.
So with that being said, family, that's what I had to plug in tonight. I love y'all.
Y'all have a good night.
Love you.
We'll see y'all on the next podcast Thursdays. Make sure to tune in. Peace.
Peace.